they win the toss and they elect not to defer. They want the football right away. But Teddy Johnson and Sam Simmons back. Hayden Epstein's punt fielded by Johnson. And he is down at the 15-yard line, and Zach Kustok, who has completed 56% of his passes, but most of the time he'll hand to Damian Anderson, the quiet but lethal running back. Sam Simmons caught the game winner against Minnesota. You'll see all of those wide receivers in that spread attack. Eric Brackens will be very active at that linebacking spot. He must shut down on Anderson here today. James Whitley and Todd Howard will be out on an island. They'll be manned up throughout the day against this spread offense, which goes completely across the field as Kustok is ready for the first snap, and we are underway. The first pass is completed, and John Schweigert, number 82, makes his way close to a first down. The rest of our lineup, Austin King, the center from Cincinnati, leads the Northwestern offensive line in pancake blocks this year. Good duels up front. Michigan will switch with this three-man. Now they go to a 5-down lineman to rush. Cusack on the move, throws complete for the first down, and it's incomplete. Wave it off. Did not hold it long enough, and the line judge rolled it down. So Zach Kustok, who has done an outstanding job as the quarterback, transfer from Notre Dame, is from Carl Sandburg High School in Orland Park, Illinois. His name is pronounced Kustok, and he was an outstanding basketball player in high school. So the Wildcats now with a 3rd and 1. Operating the spread without the huddle. Receivers checking the sideline, and that's a big part of their offense here. Now the corner's back off for Michigan. A Kustok on a keeper. First down, Northwestern.
You mentioned they don't huddle. They haven't huddled since 1999. All of the receivers, all 4 of them or 5 of them, including Damian Anderson, will look to the sideline at the hand signals. Not just the quarterback, the receivers also look for the play.
One, of course, is hot. The other's a dummy signal. Here comes Anderson to daylight. Near midfield. And Northwestern has 22 more yards rushing for Damian Anderson, who has broken the 200-yard rushing barrier 3 times this season. That's an NU record. And they quickly move to the line of scrimmage. Herman sticks with 4 down linemen. Anderson to daylight. 35, 30, needs 1 block. Can't get it out of bounds, but he's inside the 10-yard line. Dwayne Patman, and the Northwestern attack is causing fits for the Michigan defense early. It's 39 more yards.
With all this space, if one guy takes an improper angle, you miss him. Little inside handoff, that's just basic running play. The safety comes up, bad angle. There goes Damian, 4-4, running in space.
And you can see the wide receivers out in front trying to block for the running back. That is a big part of the Northwestern attack. As Kustok changes up the play, makes sure the offensive linemen know what they've got called. He'll keep it on an option look. Cut inside to the 3-yard line. And a stop by Dwayne Patman, who saved a touchdown.
This team is so good in the first quarter. Even though Michigan has had 2 weeks to prepare, it's tough to get used to this fast, no-huddle offense that Northwestern runs.
This is high octane all the way. Eric Worley in, and now a fullback, Vince Cartaya, comes in, and the Wolverines are in danger of giving one up here. Anderson behind, and that's a basic ISO play, but Victor Hobson blew it up.
The Wildcats can get a first down without scoring a touchdown.
Remember now they put together back-to-back shutouts. In danger here with 3rd down and less than 1, actually. Anderson, I believe he got the first down, but he was short of the goal line. Larry Foote and Hobson there again. Number 17, Larry Foote, did a remarkable job against Michigan State 2 weeks ago. He was all over the field. Led the team in tackles, knocked down passes, made that great save near the sideline, controversial, and it was indeed 1st and 10, and the Wildcats give it to Kustok, who goes across the end. Touchdown! So Michigan surrenders a touchdown on Northwestern's first series.
We have not seen a coach take the ball very often in college football. They like to defer. But this Northwestern is so high-powered in the first quarter. I think Randy Walker said, let's start with my firepower and try to establish the tempo of this game.
Tim Long with J.J. Standring, who made a great save on that critical extra point that tied the game. 85 yards, 9 plays. Northwestern strikes first. On a Big Ten Saturday afternoon, Wisconsin over Minnesota. Illinois rallies to beat Indiana. Iowa and Penn State are in their second overtime period. And Ohio State puts away Michigan State. Purdue idle this week was Zach Kustok, having led Northwestern to an opening drive touchdown, the first one that Michigan has allowed on the opening drive since October 24th, 1998 against Indiana. High short kickoff, no fair catch at the 30-yard line, and Michigan will put it in play. Let's take a look at the chilly starting lineup for the Wolverines. Drew Henson will lead the way. Anthony Thomas, number 32, the record breaker, is there. David Terrell, perhaps the best single wide receiver in the college game this season. Billy Silva is the middle linebacker for Northwestern, their leading tackler. All three backers are outstanding. And in that defensive backfield, Harold Blackman will get a crack at Terrell before the day is over. Well, look at number 7, Drew Henson. Going to take off as the middle opens for Henson, who dives to the 40-yard line, picking up about 7 yards on the play behind this outstanding offensive line. Steve Hutchinson, number 76. Some of the pros say he might even be able to move to left tackle on Sundays. We shall see. Wayne Missouri, a fine defensive lineman for Northwestern. Conrad Emmerich on the other side is a converted linebacker.
Michigan started in their spread offense of their own, trying to spread the field and then run the ball.
Second down and 3. Henson with plenty of time drops it to Marquise Walker, plays cat and mouse, and finally out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. And Gary, the big question of this game is, can the Northwestern defense handle hits of the Wolverines? Henson, remember, hasn't thrown an interception since October of '99, and not a bad hitter with runners in scoring position, folks. That was at Norwich before he was traded to the Cincinnati
Well,
Reds.
you're right. All the talk has been about that cute little spread offense for Northwestern, but the defense has to step up. Michigan has so much talent and can attack in so many different areas.
They'll try to get the A-train into the offense before long, get him on track. There's the draw play with number 32. And the backers, as usual, jump in there.
Michigan's game plan against Northwestern will be to pound the ball between the tackles inside and then finesse it with the play-action passes outside. For Northwestern, they're going to look at that Michigan State game film and pound Henson and then control the A-train and Thomas. That's really key. Thomas is going to get his yardage. He can't get those big, long runs.
Henson brings the Wolverines up with a second down and 7. Using motion and throw a screen. Marquise going to throw it back to the quarterback. Overthrew him. Incomplete. Folks, there was an alley all the way to the end zone.
That was looked almost like a lateral to me. I think it's going to be set back. That ball was thrown thrown out. We saw this play before at Penn State. He throws from the 40, and the ball goes back at the next yard line. That was a lateral. Throws it from the 40. and the ball lands behind the line of scrimmage. That should have been a lateral.
But they don't call it a lateral. 3rd down and 7. From the shotgun. Plenty of time. Look at the time Henson has. Marquise underneath and out of bounds at the 31, well short of a 1st down. With the wind at their back, they may go for a long field goal. It'll be 4th and 2 coming up for the Wolverines.
Looks like Lloyd is still trying to figure out what to do. Marquise Walker, this was the #1 receiver the whole way coming across. Remember, Drew Henson has the pooch punt out of shotgun. He's done it before.
So it'll be 4th and 2 from the Northwestern 31. Michigan needs to reach the Northwestern 28-yard line for a 1st down. Play fake, Henson on a roll. He's going to run for it, and he's got it. 1st down, Michigan on the dive.
Oh,
Now
my.
they said he gave it up.
It looked like he was down, but the ground
Wow.
caused that one.
Billy Silva picks up the loose football. The entire Michigan bench is over there. That play appeared to be well down.
You can see Lloyd is lobbying right in the middle of it. They're sure getting an earful, and we'll have to see just how close this was. You could see Henson's speed to the sideline when he got outside of the pocket. Randy Walker's still talking about the lateral.
Now they're going to get everybody away from this bench.
It's a huge play right here. The guy back here is insistent that the ball came loose right there.
Heavy Michigan lobby immediately because it was on their sideline, and Carr is insistent. Now remember, throughout the course of this Big Ten season, Michigan has been the recipient of 2 huge breaks that went their way. Let's listen.
The runner was down on contact, then the ball came out. 1st down, Michigan.
We're going to get a good look at this.
Now these are the 2 mistakes that went Michigan's way. First there was this non-fumble against Illinois. Then the ball knocked free on a great play by Hobson and put actually out of bounds. And now this play, Garrett.
There you see Drew stretching out. And obviously, the ball hit the ground. That's the great call. It actually went out of bounds.
The ball was out of bounds.
Yeah, that was an easy call.
There was no question
That's an easy call.
either way.
Right.
And they have made the right call, and that's what you want to happen in this situation. I know the crowd is unhappy, but this ball belongs to Michigan, folks. Either way you look at it.
The ball hits, the ball rolls out of bounds, and as we know, Michigan knew last week, that was an easy call right there.
1st down and 10 from the right hash for the Wolverine attack. The middle. And Thomas first inside the 15-yard line. 12 yards, another 1st down before Wheeler makes a stop for the Wildcats.
Brent, they're running right at their 2 senior linemen, Steve Hutchinson and Jeff Backus. Hutchinson just rooted his guy out, the big left guard. Watch him right here. Take his man down and put him right on his back. Backus comes in, the tight end. Look at that room for the A-train. You said the tracks were clear. Those were clear tracks.
Weren't they? Wide open, 1st down and 10. Power formation for Michigan. They know they can do some business running right now. And Thomas inside the 10-yard line as he reaches out with Kevin Bentley, number 2, making the play defensively for the Wildcats.
Kevin Bentley was the question mark in this game. He had only played a half against Minnesota. He hurt his ankle. I watched him practice 2 days. He was still limping on it, and to me it still looks like he's about 70%.
One of the things that we noticed early with the week off is that Drew Henson's foot is getting better. We have seen a couple of plays where the Michigan coaches have made him the runner. Once as a receiver on that incompletion, and the second for the first down. Here's the quick snap to Terrell. His knee was down.
I think it bounced.
So it's an incomplete pass.
Great matchup out there with Harold Blackman leading the Big Ten in passes broken up. 5 interceptions. Number 6, man-to-man coverage. You see the inside technique. And whether it bounced or out, it didn't matter. The knee was down.
There's no question. And Blackman, the strong candidate for all Big Ten honors. Some good corners around the Big Ten. You don't have to look much further than up north to Madison, Wisconsin, and Mr. Fletcher up there. Third down now for Henson and the Wolverines. Henson getting lots of time. Can't find an open receiver, so he'll take off again. Silva on him, throws, touchdown! Marquise Walker, 10 yards, and credit the Michigan offensive line. There is a penalty flag thrown on the play, so we'll wait for that signal. But the Michigan offensive line is just forming a huge wall in front of Henson.
What happens in this situation sometimes is an ineligible receiver, an eligible lineman is downfield. Henson cannot find anybody open, but when it looks like he's going to scramble, good job by the secondary right there. From the time this guy comes up and leaves his receiver, and that's what Drew sees and lets it go.
And you could see the ineligible receiver almost at the goal line, folks. On the right side of your screen on that replay of the pass to Marquise Walker, the lineman was almost at the goal line.
You're right. Henson looks so much more mobile and athletic than we've seen him in the past game.
3rd and 11. Terrell comes far to the left, and Blackman moves over on him one-on-one. Henson looking in that direction, the slant, and he can't hang on. Penalty flag is thrown on the play, however. There is a penalty flag thrown as Terrell was entering the end zone.
Blackman did not feel confident with Terrell. He rode him all the way to the end zone, and he got called for it. There you see it, one-on-one. He had help deep, but he's going to grab a hold. Those gray gloves right there, that's just enough. They're going to call it, just impeding his process. Great throw by Henson right there, too. Yep, he knew.
I'm not sure that you can play off Terrell that much.
No,
Gary.
you're right.
We have seen, now this is not a second guess of Randy and the defense. We have watched Terrell in action, and if you give him that kind of maneuvering room, he's going to get on you in a heartbeat.
Well, Blackman had help deep from the safety. He just didn't feel confident enough that Henson couldn't gun it in there, which he almost did.
So they have a first down at the Northwestern 2-yard line. In case you just joined us, Northwestern took the opening kickoff and marched for a touchdown. Now Michigan, 2 yards away, and they'll go in for their first score, and then an extra point away from a tie here in the opening quarter. Thomas right behind Henson, gets the follow, carry, and he's short of the goal line. It'll be second down and goal.
Michigan again switched their tackle, Maurice Williams, over to the tight end spot and ran right behind Hutchinson, Backus, and Williams. There's Maurice. A lot of times he'll switch over in these short yardage and goal line situations and play tight end. He's going to do it again. He's on the left side. That's pretty formidable over there.
Yeah, it sure is. Extra muscle. And touchdown, Michigan. Anthony Thomas.
There's the big three right there. They're going to come right in behind it. 3 guys that are going to be playing on Sunday with a guy carrying the ball that's going to be playing on Sunday.
Napoleon Harris couldn't back him out of there. Jeff Delverne makes it a 7-7 football game. So they had one touchdown call back. but not this one. Anthony Thomas bangs in again for Michigan. Timeout. Tomorrow on an all-new practice, Bobby gets one last shot to free his client from a life behind bars. The Emmy-winning drama just keeps getting better and better. The practice, ABC tomorrow, 10/9 Central. Last year, that Wolverine down there, Willie the Wildcat, getting the job done down there. So we're tied at 7 as both teams score on their opening drives, and perhaps we're underway toward a high-scoring game. Epstein to kick it off. Line drive. High bounce and down to the end zone by Johnson. College football on ABC is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, move your money, get well connected, and National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Let's go.
What fantastic weather, huh?
Beautiful.
Unbelievable.
Up here in our penthouse box where we can look out over Lake Michigan, and off to the right, the skyline of Chicago, and off to the left, more of the lake. Just a beautiful Saturday afternoon as we start November. The lights are already turned on. We'll end this game in darkness, and here comes this powerful Northwestern offense. And Anderson somehow comes free again. So Michigan cannot contain Anderson. 16 more yards. Let's go to New York for an update from John Saunders. John?
Fred, as you know, last year Virginia Tech played for the national championship. It's not going to happen this season. Miami ends a 5-game skid against the Hokies. Ken Dorsey here, 80 yards to Santana Moss, 154 yards and 2 touchdowns, and a big win.
All right, and here Kustok without a huddle. Looks like about a 9-yard gain on the completion. Sun in his eyes. Kustok immediately checking over to the sideline where the plays are called after Simmons' reception for the Wildcats.
This offense puts so much pressure on you. You have to line up and be ready to go. Over and over and over again. They're going to snap the ball within 15 seconds. Pay attention, right? Pay attention to these plays. We're not going to have time for a lot of replays. Pay attention. Watch it the first time.
First and 10, off to the measurement. Here's the end around, and they bring Patrick. And Michigan ready for that razzle-dazzle.
All right, let's take a look at what Northwestern's going to try to do in this game. It's called tempo. Quickly, get up to the line of scrimmage and run it. Trust the offense. Michigan has to ignore all the formations. Stop the tailback, Damian Anderson.
Defensive coordinator Herman is sticking with 4 down linemen. Stock complete to the running back. They get back to the original line of scrimmage. And here's our Aflac question. What current well-known Major League executive was once on the coaching staff here at Northwestern? We'll have the Aflac answer for you a little bit later, if Northwestern gives us time to give it to us.
Exactly.
This is a high-octane, high-tempo attack. It's like a fast-break basketball team. Third down and 10.
They just wear the defense down.
Plays from the sideline. There's that middle screen. Simmons breaks free and somehow gets a first down as Michigan fans on a couple of tackles. A 12-yard gain on third down for Kustok and the Wildcats.
Simmons was a tailback 2 years ago for Gary Barnett. Last year he went to wide receiver, but got hurt. You're calling it the wide receiver screen is going to come in here. Michigan had this defense very well, but as he comes in, he just beats the tackle and then uses his skills as a tailback to get inside and make the first down.
They've already called the play and changed the play while you were watching that replay. I'm telling you, folks, and here comes Damian again. And slick tackle by Patman.
That's the key to the Michigan defense. Patman and Curry, number 15 and 26, have to come up and make those tackles. So far, Julius Curry has missed twice coming up Damian Anderson. Big plays. Those two safeties have to continue to be good tackles.
You can see our 1st and 10 line, and that's being brought to you by Quest. On a fake, Kustok going to throw it away. Out of bounds.
Well, defense, because Teddy Johnson that time was wide open for a touchdown. Had Kustak had time to throw the ball deep, the Wildcats had 6 points. So quick, isn't it?
Something.
It really is. Part of this offense came from John Matsko from St. Louis. Part of it came from Clemson for Tommy Bowden.
Third down and 8. Damian hits a wall of Wolverines that time. Fourth down is coming up, and that sets up a story with Northwestern, because last week against Minnesota, they scored 3 touchdowns on 4th downs. But here against Michigan, Coach Walker elects to punt it, or at least show punt. You never know what Northwestern is going to come up with. And J.J. Standring.
Michigan is even putting a guy back. They're playing defense, safe defense.
Now Bellamy drops back to the 10-yard line. And it'll come out on the 20-yard line as Standring does not bury it inside the 20. That's what the coach wanted on that play. But the Wolverines will have it coming out from their own 20-yard line, and Carr's fired up with his defense.
Brent, Randy Walker certainly brings a winning pedigree to this Northwestern Wildcat team, both as a player and, of course, in the cradle of coaches, Miami of Ohio. But the most important thing, as a power lifter, he said he learned one very time-tested technique, and that's to be tough on and off the field. He said, I try to transpose that to our players here. Sometimes they don't like me too much.
Yeah, never lose a football game because you're out-conditioned. That's his call, and there goes Thomas, and he's tackled from behind. With 5:15 to go in the opening quarter in Northwestern, this is the key Big Ten matchup of the week, both in hot pursuit of Joe Tiller's Purdue Boilermakers. Northwestern scored on the opening drive of the game with quarterback Zach Kustak. And then Michigan answered. 1 touchdown call back, but not the second. And we're deadlocked at 7. 2nd down and 6 now for Henson. And it looks like Terrell could have a big afternoon so far. They are 10 yards off of David Terrell, who's over to the left. And Henson's looking in that direction. Throws high to Marquise Walker, incomplete. As Terrell and Walker cross, and it was overthrown. Covington, the defensive back.
Tried to go to Terrell on a slant, but Bentley that time, perfect drop. Kevin Bentley was right in the situation. You know, Brent, interesting about these linebackers for Northwestern, Randy Walker during spring practice made Jerry Brown, the defensive coordinator for Northwestern, use the linebackers the whole time. Now, the Northwestern defense doesn't have to substitute. These linebackers are used to working in space.
And number 44 is their leading tackler. The quiet fell out of California, Silva. This time Terrell got it out of bounds at the 34-yard line. There's a first down on the Terrell catch, and let's quickly go to John Saunders.
Right here on the Burger King update. 2nd overtime, Penn State and Iowa. Iowa kicks a field goal. Casey to Tony Stewart, through his hands, intercepted by Ryan Hansen. And for the 2nd time in 5 years, Iowa wins at Happy Valley.
Wow. A big one in Happy Valley just when things appeared to have turned around, and now it is a first down for Henson, and just like we predicted, and Blackman is way off Terrell as Henson looks back, and he's going to send Terrell down the middle. Here goes the pass, incomplete, and Blackman was chasing him.
When we talked to Jerry Brown, he said the #1 goal is to stop the running game. We can live with them throwing the ball, but if they throw the ball, they can't make the big play. If Michigan has patience throwing the ball underneath to both Walker and Terrell, they can move the chains with the pass offense. Well, Henson's got a gun, doesn't he? That thing keeps going, doesn't he? He just keeps going.
He can throw you out on a bunt, charging in for
right.
3rd. Second down and 10. Up the middle, Thomas finds daylight, breaks free. Anthony Thomas inside the 15-yard line. Covington finally gets there.
That's exactly what Michigan wanted to do. Go inside, reverse comes around, but it's all window dressing. It's going right up the gut. That great Michigan offensive line. Handling it up front. Jonathan Goodwin gets the block, and there goes Thomas into the secondary. The one thing the Wildcats did not want to happen, and Michigan's going to gouge it inside. They're going to keep pounding and force Northwestern to put another guy up front.
6 of 8 games this season. The A-Train has rushed for more than 100 yards. And already here today, he's got 79 in the opening quarter. This time he broke the first tackle, picked up a couple more. So remember our Aflac question. What current well-known Major League executive was once on the coaching staff at Northwestern? Lou Saban was the head coach, and George Steinbrenner, yes, the boss himself. There's Saban on the far left, and show is Steinbrenner.
Oh, here's George. There it is. I think Lou might have been the last guy that ever ordered George what to do, don't you think?
Absolutely.
I think George made the right move getting out of coaching. Or is he still coaching?
Yes, indeed. Second down and 8. He later came back and hired Saban as a baseball executive for a time. Henson pulls it out, gets good time again. Terrell got it. Touchdown. They can't handle number 1.
The running game has forced single coverage right there, one-on-one. Coming inside, and the physical Terrell comes out, throws the ball, and look at that ball, the perfect spot. Inside technique. Now watch, Terrell gets inside and pushes off Blackman perfect. A tucked elbow the way you got to do it.
Delverne makes it 14-7. Michigan 2 for 2. 80 yards in 7 plays in 2:15. And I know Blackman has done a good job against Johnson in Minnesota last week, but folks, this is a different breed of receiver right here. This is number 1, no doubt about it. Timeout.
It's all about execution. You've got a go-to player. You see one-on-one coverage. You've got a quarterback. Now watch this route. Perfect route, decent coverage. Now watch the throw. This is not a Minnesota Gopher quarterback. Puts it right on the outside shoulder, and 6'3", 4'4", 40 is too much, and it takes 11 guys. Thomas doesn't just run the ball. He cleans it up for his quarterback and allows Drew to put it right there to the outside shoulder. Beautiful execution.
Great block by Anthony Thomas down in there. The thing that you want to see from running backs is to throw that block. And Epstein pounds the ball out of the end zone, and Northwestern will bring it up from the 20-yard line. So a reminder, Dante Culpepper and the Minnesota Vikings battle Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers here on ABC, live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. And then also on Sunday night, the Carolina Panthers will take on the St. Louis Rams on ESPN. Now, speaking of the Rams, John Matsko is a close friend of Walker's. They went down. The offense does not resemble what the Rams do, but the tempo does. How you attack a defense. That's what Northwestern went down to St. Louis to study. Not so much the plays. They're not like Kurt Warner. They don't stretch it with Isaac Bruce. But they run an up-tempo offense. Look at that option look right there, which you would not see. But look how it works in the college game. And Anderson out of bounds at the 20. He's picked up 21 more yards.
When you're Northwestern, the idea is to spread the field and use all of your talents. The number 1 talent is your quarterback, who can distribute the ball so effectively to so many different guys. And Zach's ability to run is also tough on this defense.
First down and 10 for the Wildcats. Pre-start checking Coach Walker's sideline to pick up the offensive play. Damian's already over 100 yards. Slant now to number 4. Another first down. Roger Jordan. And let us check in with Jagger.
Well, Brent, you and Gary were talking about the genesis of this type of offense that the Northwestern Wildcats utilize. The tempo is what it's all about, as you know, Gary, but the play selection, well, according to Kevin Walker, he says, hey, I've been playing these sort of plays and running them for Randy Walker ever since I was a player at Carolina. He says that's how far back at least the playbook goes, not necessarily the tempo.
I always wondered what the plural of Genesis was.
Dead ball.
Help me with that,
Personal
Brad.
foul. Offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. However, the offense still made enough yards for a first down on the run. It'll be 1st and 10.
Well, we get an explanation, and it certainly cost the Wildcats, even though they get the first down in this situation. The referee has spotted the ball back at the 36-yard line, and I think he's asking for the chains to move here so they can...
And this rule is unique to college. In the program, it would be go back 15 yards, 1st and 25.
Now, look at this over here. Now, let's get these chains, untangle everybody. We got 3 guys tied up in knots over there, and here we go.
Northwestern grads, you think? Or... Not engineering, right?
Well, the Wildcats down again, and Anderson banging away. And the one thing that head coach Randy Walker preaches for this team is mental toughness. That's what he told Gary Danielson.
I ask our guys to do some things mentally, making decisions, responding when they're exhausted. I want to take them to the point of exhaustion when they're really tired, and then ask them to play and make decisions and do things, because that's what happens in a football game.
So here is 2nd down, and Simmons, who's got some swift, underneath, 1st down, Northwestern, as they drop the ball in underneath. And another thing that Walker preaches, don't quit. You'll have to kill us to beat us. And certainly Minnesota can respond to that, and here's our scouting
report. And I think
report.
Zach Kustak, he probably epitomizes that more than anybody. Such a versatile athlete. You mentioned the basketball. Has great vision around the field. So valuable to the offense because he distributes. And how do you measure a quarterback, my friend? Victories. And he's producing wins.
1st and 10. Back in that shotgun without the huddle. He's got protection. He's going to go deep down the sideline. Deflected, incomplete. Teddy Johnson defended by Todd Howard.
Todd Howard that time. Ball was slightly underthrown, but Kevin Wilson, the offensive coordinator, says at least once a quarter I got to get deep. Quarterback, left box, receiver, see the outside technique. Teddy Johnson does a good job of coming inside, but doesn't have the body like Terrell to kind of shield Howard and make the play.
Stock's option look, and he's keeping it all the way. No question about it, just short of the Michigan 46-yard line.
Jimmy Herman is kept pretty basic on defense. A 4-man line, 2 linebacker. He's substituting. He now has Anthony Jordan and Eric Brackens in at linebacker. He's resting foot.
3rd down and 3. Underneath, picked up Simmons again, and inside the 25, out at the 22-yard line, a 24-yard 3rd down play.
That is the same play that he got the last pass on from the opposite side of the formation. Simmons, probably the quickest receiver for this Northwestern team. Little 1-yard pass. Turn it up, ex-running back, and he did not play against Purdue this year.
Kustak with 75 yards passing, and Simmons has caught 54 of them with 4 balls. So Simmons breaks big, and there's that option look. Pitch Anderson, daylight. Touchdown, Northwestern. A penalty flag down.
The receivers do a great job of blocking downfield. You wonder if one of them wasn't holding.
And the 22-yarder comes back. Walker wants an explanation.
Very demanding Randy is of his wideouts. In this offense, they have to produce big plays with the wide receivers. Right here, watch his block here to the outside. That's what springs it. I'm not sure that's who got called, but Roger Jordan does a good job. To the outside, it might have been up to the top right there that they might have called it. I'm not sure.
He's holding him.
Yep, grabbed him by the shirt right there.
Grabbed the jersey and took him down. 1st down and 10. Ball is put back outside the Michigan 15-yard line. Kustok, that option player again, and keeping it.
We watched the whole Minnesota game, and Zach took a beating every time he threw the ball, every time he ran the option. You've got to give him tremendous credit to go through this whole Big Ten season and take the hits he does in this offense. Tremendous leader. Michigan's defense, it looks like they have a handle, but every time they feel they do, another play pops up that they haven't seen before.
So they bring the chains in for a measurement. There's the first down. At the Michigan 12-yard line, just shy of it.
We have to have over 300 yards. Let's see, we have 356 yards of offense in the first quarter for both teams. Northwestern, you can see right there, averaging 8.2 yards every play.
Kustok, you could see on the sideline, got the play, quickly tells the offensive line, and they move up, and he's back in that short punt. Now looking over, because the coaches upstairs are looking at personnel, and we'll do a quick change. Now he tells the line, they have the change, and they're ready to go. The wide receiver picked up the signal already, and here comes Anderson trying to sprint away, and nothing doing because of James Whitley's tackle. Wouldn't let him free.
Again, Zach Kustok only has to tell the offensive line. The rest of the team is reading the same signals that Zach is. A play is called, and then it's changed. The receivers and running back all have to look for the play.
So the final seconds will tick away here in the opening quarter. Folks, if you like offense, you've come to the right place. We're through one quarter. We've had 21 points. Michigan leads it 14-7. University Hall in the background here on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in Evanston, Illinois.
Not a bad view for us, huh? Come free, watch this offense.
Second down and 14. Kustok on the move. And he is down in the hands of Carl Diggs, number 43.
Jim Herman doing a great job of keeping his defenders fresh. That's the 5th different linebacker that's played so far in this game. Very smart. Keep your guys fresh. This is a taxing offense as the game wears on.
3rd and 17. The changeup. Michigan shows pressure at the line of scrimmage. Then they back with the flow, and here comes Anderson looking for a block from the wide receiver to the 7-yard line.
Successful answer for the Wildcats to come back and get into field goal range.
And Tim Long trots out to the field. So against this defense, Randy Walker elects at this point in the game not to use a 4th down with his offense. He'll settle for a field goal attempt here. This will be a 24-yard field goal. Tim is 7 of 9 this season. He's got it. Michigan 14, Northwestern 10, and we've got a timeout. Gary Danielson and Jack Arute, I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along with us on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here about 12 miles north of Chicago. Northwestern and Michigan, the Wolverines lead it 14-10. And the Wildcats will kick it off after their field goal. Cross and Vargas back. Ryan Beard will bring this one back for the Wolverines. to the 33-yard line. So David Terrell, even when it's called back, has been a huge factor working against Blackman. Interference on that play. Watch this grab. And now the touchdown for the Wolverines. Gary, that Michigan offense has been something behind Drew Henson.
Well, when you're going to play Northwestern, I think it's pretty obvious. You got to put some points on the board. There's not any defense that's going to completely shut them down. Michigan has the offense that is made for this. Reminds me of the Purdue game. They come out, they score. They come out, they score.
Here comes Bellamy on the end around, wide open, breaks free. Blackman's got to get him on the angle on a cutback. Out of bounds, far side, inside the 40-yard line.
Same style of play that the A-Train ran the long play on before, only this time they fake it to Anthony and come around the outside. Very well conceived by Stan Parrish, the offensive coordinator for Michigan. 2 possessions, that's what we talked about, 2 touchdowns. Remember that? We did that Purdue game. I think they went 4 for 4, 28 points, and didn't punt. And then they went in and fell asleep in the second half, and Lloyd hasn't let them forget it yet.
Henson and the Wolverines come up with a 1st and 10. Thomas breaks the first tackle, but he's out of bounds. And, you know, David Terrell told us he wants the football. He wants it all the time, all game long. Why not?
You have to want the ball. You have to want the ball. If you don't want the ball, then you got to go to line or defense or somewhere else. But playing receiver, you must want the ball.
He's a delightful young man to talk to. He came out of Richmond, Virginia, somewhat of a tough background, really didn't know his father. He's worked hard academically at Michigan, wants to earn his degree, and one thing for sure, folks, he's going to earn a few million when he goes to the NFL. He is an outstanding wide receiver. 2nd down. And Henson back in that protective pocket, going deep. Terrell on a foot race, out of bounds.
Harold Blackman again in coverage, playing the same technique. They're either double teaming Terrell or double teaming the inside slot. This time Blackman has Terrell all alone. Nice cutoff by Blackman. He's going to go for the spot and hope the ball is out of bounds and he doesn't grab it. Perfect technique. Need to throw the ball in front of that technique right now.
Blackman is looking for the signal. How they want the secondary to play over to the sideline. You can see him constantly checking. He'll go now with Terrell. Terrell's to the right side of the offense's formation, and Henson rolls hard in that direction. Fires Marquise Walker's got it. 1st down, Michigan at the 16-yard line. 21 more yards for Drew Henson. And remember, Henson has not thrown a pick since last October.
Here you're coming out here. Terrell's going to go long, inside out. Henson's going to come out and get hit just as he lets go of the ball. Henson took a pounding against Michigan State where he broke a fingernail to kind of affect his throwing. But this time, one-on-one passing to the outside. Henson has to be happy that says, Coach, I'll take those hits all day for one-on-one throws.
Thomas, penalty flag.
Coming from that side, it's usually a tight end holding. The line judge to the sideline usually has his eyes on the tight end. And it's Billy Seymour, the same guy who got called against Purdue, that really changed the momentum of that game.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat 1st down.
Well, the Northwestern Wildcats under Gary Barnett back in '95 made it all the way to Pasadena in the Rose Bowl, and one of their toughest stops was up at Ann Arbor, Michigan. They took on the Wolverines back in October of that year, a Saturday that Northwestern fans certainly have never forgotten, as Henson here for the Wolverines wants to set the screen, and Thomas, daylight, cracked out of bounds at the 12-yard line. So let's take you back now, our Courtyard by Marriott moment. to that day in October. Northwestern's victory. Steve Schnurr, the quarterback, to the late Matt Hartle, who passed away tragically of cancer. And then it was William Bennett intercepting the pass, and Barnett and the Wildcats were on their way, 1913.
You remember that year Michigan came back to help the Wildcats, beating Ohio State in that final game to get them into the Rose Bowl.
Second down for Henson of the Wolverines. Draw play. Thomas and Dwayne Missouri makes the stop, and that's number 95 down there, a fine defensive lineman. The two positions that have always been difficult for Northwestern to recruit in abundance are defensive end and cornerback, and they are blessed this year with having two outstanding. We have studied, of course, number 6 Harold Blackman, but number 95 Dwayne Missouri is the other one. Those are fine football players here. Randy Walker, hard-working, no-nonsense football man. Third down. Hanson back to the end zone. Penalty flag, touchdown. David Terrell could have a career day. Another touchdown for number 1. Just give me the football.
Ball was thrown absolutely magnificently to the outside, and it's a 6-pointer.
On the defense, a penalty been refused. Touchdown.
Again, there's a safety back here to help, but not enough help for this guy. A big receiver, forcing him to the outside, but it ends up being just one-on-one. And look at that. See how Terrell stopped, put his butt into the defender, and shielded it. He's such a physical guy and such an easy throw for the quarterback.
The extra point is added by Delverne. Michigan, touchdowns each of its first 3 possessions. Terrell, 2 of them, 21-10, Wolverines. Well, the Vikings are no longer undefeated, but Culpepper, Carter, and Moss still lead one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL, and they face their old rivals, Brett Favre and the Packers at Lambeau Field. Minnesota, Green Bay, Monday Night Football, live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time here on ABC. Well, Mr. Daniels, it's going to be a long afternoon for the Wildcat defense.
They're going to have to get some help from their offense because they're playing against a couple of premier, I mean, top-of-the-line players in college football. There's nobody better than David Terrell. There's probably nobody with pro potential like Drew Henson playing football. We already know he's making money playing baseball.
Epstein with the ball on the tee. We've already had 440 yards of offense in this game. And here's Johnson. College football on ABC, brought to you by the makers of the all-new Dodge Caravan. Dodge different. Chili's Ranch Hand Filet, tender, juicy, flame-grilled, and served on a bed of awesome blossom strings. Courtyard by Marriott, the hotel designed by business travelers, and Speed Pass, today's way to pay. It's free from mobile. And the Wildcat offense.
It's not like they haven't been in this position before. Down.
Like last week.
Exactly.
Down 21, and here it's 21-10 in the first half. Anderson and Foot makes the stop. And watching Damian Anderson, Gary asked him about his running style. How would he describe himself?
My running style, I just try and be just smart and determined where I go with the ball. You know, I just feel as though if I'm going to take this cut or run in this hole, I'm just going to be as fast and as hard as I can.
On the move, but short of the first down, another completion. And Simmons has been very active here today. 5 catches for 62 yards for number 32.
Can't overemphasize enough the job Jimmy Herman has done keeping his people fresh. That's a big mistake you make against his offense is trying to go with your number 1 guys. He's run everyone through almost twice. They're still ready to play, Michigan.
Northwestern using a tight end. Farmer blocks on Hobson. Kustok rolls in that direction, in trouble, and tosses, and incomplete. Northwestern is forced to punt. Not what they wanted to do in this situation, with Michigan having scored in 3 consecutive possessions here.
The fast tempo on offense works against you if you don't make a couple first downs. every time you come out because you're kicking the ball back to those guys without much rest for that defense.
You can see Ronald Bellamy underneath the glove. He has a much lighter bandage than he was wearing a couple of weeks ago against Michigan State. So Bellamy driven back to the 20-yard line. Almost to the 40-yard line. A fine 19-yard return for Bellamy. But a reminder that here in the Midwest, ABC Sports will bring you a full slate of college football. You'll see the Penn State, Michigan, or Purdue, Michigan State. And then call your cable operator or check that satellite dish because the big one's going to be Oklahoma, Texas A&M. We got a special time next Saturday. We got 1 Eastern time coming your way, so don't forget that. There it is, folks.
See, that's pretty good. I think Michigan loves the matchup, bringing in 3 wide receivers. Northwestern is not changing. They stay with their linebackers. I think Stan likes that matchup.
Here's a running formation. Thomas, and let's go down to Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, Brent, we've talked a lot about Drew Henson and how much he loves to play baseball. He was a fellow that actually played for the Norwich Navigators and then was involved in a trade. Carr likes the fact that he plays 2 sports. Lloyd Carr says one of the great things, and I know, Gary, you don't agree with this, one of the great things he says about it is it keeps him in shape and it toughens Drew Henson up.
I don't think Lloyd has any choice because Drew's going to keep playing baseball.
2nd down and 7. Thomas. Midfield. And that will be very close to a first down. Will depend on the spot for the Wolverines. Silva makes the stop.
Usually we do our scouting reports on the wide receivers, the quarterbacks. Let's do it with 2 guys, Backus and Hutchinson. Great leadership from them, intensity on every play. That's the leadership. The coaches have such great confidence in these guys. They're really go-to players, and that means when they're in trouble, they're going to run the ball behind Backus and Hutchinson. 2 great college players.
So the chains coming across. Well, Anthony Thomas. He flirted with the NFL after last season, but he decided to come back to school, got married, got a degree, and he's still getting yards and touchdowns for the Michigan Wolverines. And he can also throw a pretty nifty block there to protect number 7, Mr. Drew Henson. So Drew Henson now, in 24 games, has thrown 15 touchdown passes in his career, and he's still working on that string of passes without an interception. Going again, and he's sacked at the 35-yard line by Conrad Emmerich.
You talked about Blackman, you talked about Missouri, the other defensive end on this defense, Conrad Emmerich, a middle linebacker a year ago, lost his job halfway through the season. They switched him, he lined up right there, switched him to defensive end, and really this is a good job because one-on-one coverage to the outside, Terrell was going to beat him deep. He had a touchdown, David Terrell, and Emmerich saved 6 points.
And Bill Seymour is going to hear from the coaches on that one. Emmerich beat him clean off the line. Now it is 2nd down and 23 after the sack.
And that's protection when you get sacked.
Thomas, daylight, getting it back. 15 of them.
Anthony Thomas is an amazing running back. He just keeps so steadily, just keeps finding the holes, moving his feet. Watch him. He always falls forward. He picks up the blocks. Goes over, what is he, over 100 yards yet in this game?
13 for 109.
Yeah,
that is his 7th 100-yard game this year.
And
the 20th of his career. And that ties Tyrone Wheatley's school record set back in 1991 and 94. So another mark for the A-Train.
Northwestern came in with a circle to stop him. He had 172 yards last year.
3rd and 8. Here's Henson. Marquise Walker, first down, Michigan, inside the 35-yard line. That's the pass that the pros will study, Gary, over and over, throwing it from the far hash to the sideline. If you can rip it like he can, you have a future.
Brent, I don't think they have to study it anymore. They know now. This guy, there's no question his arm. I'm marveling at his accuracy. This is just pitch and catch. Raheem Covington right here well, he's supposed to be on coverage. Ball is, again, perfectly thrown, clear across the field. The offense for Michigan has really got this Wildcat defense on its heels.
Terrell takes a break. He's off the field right now for the running play by Thomas, and he is stopped by Pat Durr. Well, we talk about his running style. Here's what Steve Hutchinson of the Michigan offensive line said about Anthony Thomas's style.
When he hits the hole, he hits it going north. And he'll make a cut in there after he gets out. But, you know, he's going to hit it going straight up the field. And he's going to gain a couple yards. Then he's going to cut, or he's going to run somebody over. That's the thing. He can do both.
Yeah, he can. But here's the matchup that's not working well, Brent, for Northwestern. 3 linebackers in the game. Michigan counters with 3 wide receivers. A bit of a mismatch.
2nd and 6, and they bring the end around again. And Bellamy close to a first down at the 22-yard line. Wheeler, the defender for the Wildcats. Back we go to Jackaroo. Jack.
Well, Brent, we talk about Drew Henson, and I was telling you about his baseball career. Well, here he is when he plays for the Chattanooga Lookouts. And George Steinbrenner brought this young man into his office and said, if you will guarantee us you will not go back to Michigan and play football, we won't trade you. He said, I can't promise you that. So what did he do? He got traded to Cincinnati for Denny Nagel.
Now, that was interesting, Jack, when you told us that Lloyd does not object to his going off and playing baseball. And I guess it's because he's such a great prospect in football. He doesn't need him in the spring. Most coaches will tell you that they want their quarterbacks full-time, especially in the spring. It's rare to find a coach who says he doesn't mind. And play fake by Henson going again. Got time. Terrell got it. Pulled it down. Touchdown. David Terrell, 22 yards. That's his 3rd touchdown of the game.
Can you throw it any better? Harold Blackman has inside technique. He knew the play. Look at this. Here's straight up the field. Look how much inside Blackman is. Terrell runs right across his face, and their guy's better than your guy. That's a problem
There's
for
the extra
Northwest.
point. And folks, another thing that David Terrell has to have, and that is confidence. As a matter of fact, when you kid him a little bit about baseball, you say, come on, Dave, what could you really do against Drew Henson if he said, I'm taking him on? Now, Henson's a big-time baseball player. Here's what David had to say, folks. Give a listen.
Home run, baby. Home run. I'm telling you. I'm going to take him out the park. I guarantee you. So I've been waiting for that matchup. Then they say he can play basketball. I don't beat Jamal Crawford one-on-one. But Drew Henson, I smoke him 16-0. For real.
He's just a delight to talk to. There's the other end of it. Drew Henson, and this may be, folks, the best pass-catch combination in the college game. I'm telling you, it's something to watch.
Well, you wonder, Drew Henson would have been healthy all year this year. They go out to UCLA and lose a game. They come back, they blow a game, and the score is just as it is now. They blow a game, at least from the Michigan side. They're up 28-10. Remember, Michigan started out rated number 4 in the country, where they would be with a healthy Drew Henson all year.
But you know how I feel about that Purdue comeback. I think it was more Boilermakers than Michigan. I thought it was a remarkable comeback.
One more touchdown, though, by Michigan, and it didn't matter how good Drew Brees would have played.
Here's the kickoff by Epstein. Teddy Johnson. And ball goes down. He was juggling it. And they come out with it. And the young man still down after giving it up. But it's Northwestern football at the 23-yard line, 28-10. That score is, Michigan fans don't even want me to say that again, because that's exactly what it was at Purdue. I'll whisper, at Purdue.
Teddy Johnson gets hit, pops out, and Wildcats get it back.
So Zach quickly up to the line with the changeup. That option look, and here's Anderson being stretched and then whacked by Evan Coleman, who was in pursuit that time. Well, a reminder coming up on the MSN halftime report. John Saunders and Terry Bowden will have college football scores and highlights from around the country. We'll hear from the two fellows back in New York as to how Miami beat Virginia Tech so decisively. One thing's for sure, Michael Vick was not 100% today, and that is huge in that game. Second down and 8.
One thing Michigan is not doing is allowed Kustak to get out of the pocket. These defensive ends are coming upfield, making them run inside or throw the ball from the pocket.
Straight back, fires underneath, and he's got his main man again. Number 30. That's number 82. That's young Schweiger down there who made the play that time. Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, one of the problems that Jim Herman faced with this fast-tempoed offense was how to get the scout team to approximate it. Guess what? They got a break because they had a bye week, and Herman said that enabled them to do more than just diagram the plays. When was the last time you heard somebody excited about having a bye week before Northwestern?
First time I've ever heard it, as a matter of fact. First down and 10. And here's Zach. Flushed out and throws back to the line of scrimmage. And Schweiger there again, number 82. Michigan appears on defense to be a little more comfortable against what Northwestern is doing. They were uncomfortable on the first series of the game, but now they seem to have an idea about young Kustak and what he's up to when he shows that option when he runs it to the left or the right. And Damian Anderson with 4 linemen down, and the pass is dropped, and you could see the defensive back, Jeremy LeSueur, came hard on the pass that time to Sam Simmons.
That was that bubble screen, and if you don't get a block on the bubble, the guy who catches it gets his bubble burst.
Yeah, and that's what happened there. Well, he dropped the ball before he got it. Third down and 10 for Kustak, who checks the side. And now Hobson in a stand-up coming off the line, gets picked up down middle, got it. Nice pass by Kustak. First down at the Wolverine 45, 18 yards to Sam Simmons.
Beautiful job that time by that Northwestern offensive line. They're not built to throw from inside the pocket, but this time Simmons against the zone for Michigan. A lot of time to throw. There he is. He got his hands open. Damian Anderson holds the underneath coverage. That's exactly how you have to do it, right by the linebacker.
6 catches, 80 yards for Simmons on the game. The receivers check that sideline. Intent. Kustak tells the line what the coaches want after the personnel is covered. Corners are off. Now they blitz. Foot from the outside. Here's Anderson. Right side. Looks daylight. Got his balance. Cut back. Anderson still going and finally down at the 7. I want to tell you, folks, he's a fine-looking running back. The balance that time and the speed.
On this option, you guys see the offensive coordinator is sitting up in the press box, and he's playing almost Madden football, EA football up there. He just pitches it out, and there goes. You give it to that guy to the outside, and great vision and a great motor. 4'4" guy, and you know, Lloyd told people, as you look at Kevin Wilson, that we were after Damian Anderson, couldn't get him signed.
He has rushed for 167 yards. Going for more. Touchdown, Northwestern. 7 yards, and Damian Anderson gets it right back for Coach Walker. Wow, that was some performance by number 20.
The option, the play, everyone thought they were a little comfortable, but if you look at 28-10, you say, well, surely they're going to start throwing the ball. All of a sudden, they come back with the option play, get it around end, and this time a little delay, and back the same way. The counter play from the shotgun. Pull the offside tackle. Damian Anderson gets to the outside, and Damian puts it in. What an offense. That's what's the great thing about college football. So many different styles work.
Tim Long adds the extra point. Once again, Northwestern may be behind, but they're not out of it. It's 28-17. Timeout. 350 points this season for Northwestern. They've already broken the team record, and Damian Anderson has rushed for 174 yards, well on his way to the 200-yard barrier again. He's already done that 3 times this season. And one more, he has now tied Darnell Autry's single-season touchdown record. So he's well on the way to rewriting the rushing records here at Northwestern.
Damian rushed for 1,000 yards last year, Brent, but it was much tougher. Remember, this is an offense a year ago that averaged just 288, and they're going to need it today because I got a feeling Michigan's going to not let up on gas pedal.
There's the onside drop kick. Northwestern's got it on the catch. What a great call as Blackman makes the catch on the long kick. What a terrific time to ambush the Wolverines with that play. Lloyd Carr is protesting on the far side.
He's just saying that Blackman was offside on the play. We'll take a look at it. What a great time to call it. Comes up, reaches it outside.
He was offside. And no question.
Who was offside? The kicker?
Blackman was.
Blackman wasn't in the screen. He was outside one more.
Let's go back and take another look at that.
Yeah, it must have been someone inside that Lloyd saw because Blackman was outside the screen until right at the end. Blackman's to the outside. He just shows up right. There he is. See, he finally shows up. It must have been the guy inside him, one inside.
Yep.
356.
I think Lloyd has a point. He was right on the line.
I think so, too. I don't think there's a question about it. But it was close. And let's not take anything away from what Northwestern just did.
The strategy was sound.
That was a heck
very
of a
close.
goal.
Yep.
All right. After the penalty, right? We've got a first down and 15 now. And Anderson to the middle. Not much doing there. And, you know, there's a pretty big golf tournament going on, the Tour Championship. And this fella, Tiger Woods, is right there tied with Vijay Singh in the Tour Championship presented by Southern Company. And that's tomorrow at 2 Eastern time right here on ABC. Second down and 14. Stock. Slant. And tight coverage by Whitley, who comes in on Roger Jordan. Crowd thought it was interference.
I don't think so. Whitley did a nice job of closing on the throw and getting there just as the ball arrived. Not much of a pass rush for Michigan, though. You'll see Whitley close on Jordan, eyes on the quarterback, and as the ball comes, he gets there right. That's good defense.
Third and 14 for Kustok and the Wildcats. The receivers checking the coaches. Kustok now to tell the offensive line. 3 rushmen for the Wolverines. Now they show blitz. Patman's coming. He's picked up. Middle, got him. First down. Number 82, Johnny Swigert.
Kevin Wilson, the coach that time, up in the stands, changed the play. He's playing quarterback. He saw the coverage. Blitz from the opposite side. Swigert comes across. It's zone blitz look. Larry Foote can't get in there enough. And it's a perfect throw from Kustok.
Kustok. And whistle blows, and a penalty flag goes flying, and
they're going to give it 15 yards to Michigan.
They're going over to the Michigan Wolverines sideline. That's where the flag was thrown.
Sideline warning against Michigan. First one of the game.
All right. You got to keep that white box clear for the officials to run, side judges to run up and down. They got to at least be 3 feet back.
You can see where Northwestern has to go for another first down. And our first and 10, that yellow stripe, is brought to you by Pacific Life. 3 minutes here. Kustok has thrown for 138 yards. He's 12 of 18 on the game. And they come around with Simmons on the reverse. He's got quickness, the former running back. First down.
That was a great job by Simmons there, Brent, because that was a pass play. That was going to be a reverse pass to Johnny Swider. He comes around, he reads it as he comes, and if it's not there, he makes the great decision on the reverse. He's going to throw, it's not there, and he just keeps it. Sam Simmons is a high school quarterback.
First down and 10, and here's Damian Anderson, and Foot won't be fought off that time. One of the best tacklers on this Michigan team, Larry Foot, and a big play guy who took that Purdue loss personally.
Michigan needs to be careful. They're starting to lose contain on Zach Kustok to the outside. You have to continue to find the quarterback. If you give just a foot to Kustok, he'll take it around the outside.
Second down. The receivers, running back, Kustok, now he passes it on to the offensive line. Anderson is off to his right. Now Michigan shifts. Hand Anderson in the middle, and not much there. It'll be third down. So the cat and mouse game continues. And you wonder why a lot of other teams don't run the offense this way with the coaches signaling late.
Well, it's a big-time commitment. All through spring ball, all through fall, double sessions. Northwestern did not hubble one time. That's keep your eye on me, keep your eye on me. Kevin's still looking up in the box. Stay with me, stay with me. When they point down, so he's changing the play. One guy's dummy, one guy's live. He looks back, snap the ball.
Now Kustok gets protection deflected as he threw it too low, and Eric Wilson knocked it down. And one of the things in the play clock is the coach upstairs can keep his eye on it because he can't get it in too late and get a violation down there on the 25-second clock. So Long trots onto the field with 1:22 left, and Northwestern leaving too much time on the clock.
Yeah, that's what you can only bleed it so far.
Mr. Henson and Mr. Terrell have been over there resting for a while, and they're due to report back. Hey, this one's kind of fun, isn't it, folks?
But it makes it an 8-point game with a make right here, and 28-20 looks a lot better than 28-10 if they can hold on.
25-yarder. Whistle.
Don't play, penalty for the sack.
If it's on Michigan, I'm sure that Randy Walker will take the 3 points.
Players snap. Dead ball. Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
Randy will decide. He's been so good on fourth down. Will he take the points?
He's bringing them off and going, it looks like. He's bringing the offense back over. Right now, the coaches. Well, here it is, folks. Fourth down, they're going. 11 of 13 last week, 5 of 5 and 3 touchdowns, and they're going. Trailing 28-17. You agree with this?
It's a long 3 yards. They do have a very versatile quarterback that runs the ball. I think you'll see Zach's going to try it out and take a timeout.
He's dashing over to call the timeout right now.
Is it too late to get those 3 points back?
Well, I don't think they can have the 3 points, Gary, because I think the whistle was blown before the kick, okay? They would have to kick it for the field goal, okay?
I got you.
They have to kick it.
I got you. So they made contact before the kick.
Yeah, the whistle was sounded. And, you know, one of the things that this does right here is it did bleed a few. We're down to 119. I'm not kidding about not
3 seconds.
It's Terrell, the
3 seconds.
football. I'm sure if you're a Michigan fan, you say, come on, Lloyd, get the ball back and let's go. Not a happy camper right now either, is he?
No. Well, remember, this all started with a very gutsy call with an onside kick. So Randy continues with the gutsy calls of saying, I'm going to go for it. He's saying, hey, we're not stopping them much. I guess we need points. It's not like they don't believe they can do it. I don't know if I've ever seen a game like the Minnesota game with 3 touchdowns on fourth down.
And I haven't seen a coach who says Let's go on 4th down. I mean, folks, this is Northwestern, okay? Oh, my, he's from the cradle of coaches. The first great one that I remember here came from there. That was Era Parsegan. He put the show on the road back in the late 50s, and then he moved on to Notre Dame, won national championships down there. Then, of course, Gary Barnett took this team all the way to Pasadena in the Rose Bowl, and now Randy Walker has rebuilt this team, and here they come. There's a lot of confidence, folks, to be going here. They can, yes, they can get a first down without scoring, but they must get inside the 1-yard line.
They're going field goal.
Yeah.
J.J. Sandring will hold.
So Timmy Long, after all of that, they bleed a few seconds, and they decide, unless they decide to fake it.
That'd be a great
Here comes Long. And they take the 3 points that time. So,
well, that's my idea.
all right, it's 28-20, and let's go down to Jack.
Well, Brent, you know, at the Ohio State game against Penn State, we had a terrible tragedy, at least a near tragedy, when young Adam Talaferro was tackling head first, and he was removed to the hospital, and there was a spinal problem, and he didn't have feeling in his arms and his legs. Well, I'm happy to report that I spoke personally to Adam yesterday, and he said he has all the feeling back in his arms, his hands, his fingers. He's moving around. In fact, he's moved onto a treadmill at Rehabilitation Hospital just outside of Philadelphia. He told me his goal is to walk out of that hospital on Christmas Day. That's great news for all of us at ABC Sports. We wish Adam and his family the best. And, Brent, it's always great to be able to bring you a great story like that.
No, indeed. And all of us send along our best. Adam might be watching this game. I know he's a little down today because the Nittany Lions lost in overtime. But, Adam, we were there that day. And, my friend, we've been praying for you ever since. And that's just great news, Jack. So now, with all the action this afternoon in the Big Ten, you can see that the Buckeyes are at 3-2. They're done. Nittany Lions are now at 500. Purdue, 2 victories away from going to Pasadena for the first time since the 60s, and that was the only time they went. And all they have to do is go to Michigan State, and then a home game against Indiana, and the winner here stays alive in that chase.
It really does. And remember, Purdue fans came to the Rose Bowl, but they never won the Big Ten championship.
And the kickoff is fielded by Walter Cross, who reverses. There is a penalty flag. Now, there's Walter Cross tackled at the 29-yard line, and 1:11 left on the clock with the flag down below.
Michigan likes to come out on these 2-minute plays with a screen to gain some yardage or a draw, and then once they get field position, they start going for it.
It's against the Wolverines and Lloyd Carr. Now remember, Lloyd Carr was sitting on a 28-10 lead in this game. He has given up 10 points here before the end of the first half. So here at Ryan Field, a sellout crowd. Darkness starting to close in north of Chicago. Michigan leading the game, and David Terrell with 3 touchdown catches on the day. But the Wildcats came right back, led by Anderson, who has rushed 19 times for 178 yards and 1 touchdown. Now 1:11 left for Henson. Threw it up in the air for Terrell. Incomplete.
Everybody in the stadium saw the ball go up in the air, but Blackman had other eyes for somebody else. Dwayne, Missouri that time, came from the outside and hammers Henson just as he go. He beats big Maurice Williams to the inside right there. Oof. And we've seen this before.
That was some power rush right there, wasn't it? And remember, Henson has working on that string. He's now thrown 159 passes without an interception, dating back to October of '99. The 106. He's a favorite to be looking again. Yeah, and Northwestern just crushed the running back that time. Simon and Missouri coming hard, and now Missouri wants the timeout. This is kind of an ugly ending to this half for the Wolverines,
Well,
Gary.
now we're wondering if the Wildcats have enough time to put more points. A busted assignment by Maurice Williams that time and just let Missouri come right around the corner.
Well, we'll take a timeout. NU wants to go again.
Remember college?
I bet you do.
I bet you do.
Remember the highs, the lows,
The pressure?
the party?
Are you kidding me? You're going to risk your hard-earned cash
Take food off your table,
betting on
18-year-old kids.
kids.
You might as well.
Throw your money away,
Fool.
fool.
So watch our games for this kind of
This
action,
kind of action.
not this.
Not this.
Because if you're banking on me,
Make your day?
don't
Don't.
bet on it. Don't bet on it.
It is 4:15 in Chicago, and we still have 58 seconds remaining in the first half.
New Big Ten football. We used to already be going for our plane at this time. Remember when they had 3 yards in a cloud and dust? Well, they're still running the ball, but they're mixing it in with some passing. Our two featured running backs, not bad.
That is amazing what those two fellows have accomplished already here.
Look at those averages. 7 and 9 yards. And remember, Michigan's came into this game with back-to-back Big Ten shutouts.
Anderson, quiet fellow. You won't see him celebrate after any touchdowns. No dancing going on with him. He just hands it off. And
Still no
he got that from Barry Sanders and Walter Payton.
Still no
That was a lot of
change.
class.
Yeah, man-to-man outside.
And Henson now looking for him, too. Terrell turns around and almost makes the catch as the safety was coming, and he wanted a penalty on that one.
Don't understand the deep ball again. Man-to-man, go down 12 yards, hook in, try to get him the ball across the middle or hooking. To go deep on that coverage, 3rd and 15, very difficult.
Got to try to get a first down,
Yeah,
don't you, to keep the
absolutely.
ball away from Northwestern
They
with
went
50
deep,
seconds?
tried to throw deep on first down and
a
third
strange
down.
call, and Hayden Epstein, this is Michigan's first punt of the game, and Simmons, a nice high punt. Fair catch is the signal, and that'll give Northwestern 45 yards with 44 seconds to go, and head coach Randy Walker was asked by Gary what makes a winning team. Here's what he had to say.
I think you have to have a unified bond between people, that they've invested greatly together. And then when it's a couple minutes left at Minnesota and no one believes but those 60 guys on the sideline, that's all that counts, really.
You see those eyes, folks? I want to tell you right now,
Right
he
through.
believes, baby. And when he says run one more 40, he means it. And he has worked this Northwestern team about as hard as they've ever been worked up here in Evanston. This is a team that's in great physical condition, and obviously it shows in the way they've been coming back, and they're hanging in this one now. 44 seconds. Lustok with that option look, cuts it in between the tackle, and he's at the 41-yard line, and you can watch the seconds ticking away here. That's all that's left.
Julius Curry again coming up. And amazing the number of hits that Kustok takes when he's running that option play.
We'll look over and get the play. Second down. Needs a first down to stop it on the slant. Got it. Simmons inside the 30. And the clock will stop as the chains move with Patman and Foot there. But it's 12 more yards.
He'll just ground it right now. He'll down it. Clock is stopped. Simmons, look at him pull Simmons up.
Now we've got an injury. We have an injury. So the whistle was Simmons kneeling down. Simmons here today has caught 7 passes for 92 yards. Kustok is 13 of 20 for 150 yards on the day. And
Simmons has a bad back. That's why he missed the Purdue game. But it looks like he took a hit when he got that slant. No coverage this time. You see the safety right there. Patman comes up, puts it right on his left shoulder, and then he gets a hit from Foot. Clean it up. Sandwich.
So on first down, Kustok slams it down. And there will be 13 seconds left here.
Very smart to save their last time out, Northwestern. So they can throw the ball anywhere over the field and they don't have to get a first down. There it is, 2 different signals. Everyone knows who's live.
changeup.
Damon doesn't know the play. They had to signal it again for a third time.
Two-stock deflected. 10 seconds left. So Shanti Orr, 53, making the play defensively. Wildcats would like some more yards to give at least Long a shot at a long field goal. They've saved that timeout, remember? Third down. Anderson squirts to the 26-yard line, and the clock is stopped for the final time here this half. And now Tim Long trots onto the field.
Tim Long's biggest kick of the year was a kick to put it into overtime against Wisconsin to tie that game up.
Looks like it'd be about 44 yards, 43. We check in with Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, Brent, when Randy Walker arrived on campus in 1999, he posted a very special sign in the locker room. It was meant to be an inspiration to his team. It says quite simply, as you can see, one play at a time, one day at a time, one game at a time. And then they put their next opponent up right beneath it. Walker believes in this creed, preaches it to his players, and wants to see them adhere to it as well.
And even though Randy Walker's an Ohio guy, took most of his learning from Bo Schembechler. Most of his ideas came right from that Bo Schembechler thing. He talked about Woody Hayes and how much his father admired Woody Hayes. And most of this stuff is right from Bo. Cradle of coaches.
Absolutely. Go back to the days of Paul Brown down in Miami, Ohio, can't you? 44 yards. Woody and Darrell and Bo and man, this goes on and on. 43 yards is the official distance here for Long. You can watch from behind the goalpost. On our last play and a half, it looks good. This is beauty. Northwestern was down 28-10, and they scored 13 unanswered points. They got a ball game, folks. Might get it over around midnight. Timeout.
The MSN College Football Halftime Report. MSN. Everything you need to feel at home on the web, all in one place.
This is the MSN Halftime Report. John Saunders and Terry Bowden. You start off every college football season with a lot of questions. One this year, was Miami really back? That one's been answered. Today you get another question asked. How good is Virginia Tech without this man? Michael Vick hobbled with the ankle. Kenny Dorsey of Miami goes 42 yards here to San Panama. Miami strikes first to grab the lead, and Dave Meyer for Virginia Tech just struggled.
Well, he didn't have enough reps all season. He made a poor read on that option. He doesn't have the experience, and this guy wasn't healthy. Unless you take a thoroughbred like this and keep him healthy, he can't make the play. Goes down right there. As you see, Michael Vick really shouldn't even have been playing at all. Got no reps this week. Really rusty. This wasn't a great Virginia Tech team. Without Michael Vick, it's not a great Virginia Tech team.
Yeah, he had a couple of turnovers. Dorsey then to Jeremy Shockey. He takes this one in for the touchdown right before halftime, 21-0, and Michael Vick could do nothing about it. 41-21. Virginia Tech's 5-game winning streak over Miami comes to an end. San Panama with 154 yards receiving through the air. But again, as you mentioned, Virginia Tech going to the championship game last year. They were not as good a team this year, and that was clearly showed today without Michael Vick.
That's right. This team is so dependent on Michael Vick. If he's not in, they're not a top 10 team, and it was clear today. They also had 3 turnovers. You can't have those kind of turnovers in a big game like this that's played on an away field.
Take a look at the BCS standings now. You know Virginia Tech is out of this race. But here's the thing people are going to talk about. Look at Florida State. They play Clemson. We'll talk about that in a moment. Miami likely could stay behind Florida State despite the fact that they have beat Miami, and that's going to cause a lot of confusion and angry people.
Well, anytime you've got a lot of teams with one loss, these teams are going to have questions. Miami has got to look to the strength of schedule and to the computer rankings. That's where they get hurt. These rankings are not emotional. They're not sentimental. They don't care if you beat a team or you lost to somebody else. It's still one loss in the rankings' eyes.
What about tonight? Bowden Bowl 2, a little different than last year.
Well, I don't think the BCS championship for both teams is in the makings because Clemson lost last week. But this is still for the ACC championship. The winner goes to a BCS game, and Tommy Bowden will have Clemson ready to play.
All right, Florida State still has to play Florida. Florida playing today against Vanderbilt, a team that kind of gave them a hard time last year. And Steve Spurrier looking on and watches wide receiver Taylor Jacobs take the ball and go 4 yards on this end around. And this one ties the game. Vandy had scored first, but from then Rex Grossman goes to work.
Well, he's their quarterback now, but you know, he's still just a freshman. Had 3 interceptions last week. He threw 2 more this game. They still don't have a great offense because he's so young. If you forget, he's still just a redshirt freshman.
Florida wins this one easily, and again, pointing to that game with Florida State towards the end of the season, you see the touchdown passes for Grossman. Iowa State and Kansas State, Josh Scobie, 28 yards on this run. He had another touchdown run, and really, Kansas State just made Iowa State look terrible. In a season, they're having a pretty good year.
Well, you wondered if Kansas State would rebound from that tough loss to Texas A&M last week. Had 580 yards of offense.
Michigan State and Ohio State. Brent Johnson sacks Jeff Smoker, forces the fumble. Mike Doss returns it 73 yards for the touchdown.
Well, you know, you're struggling at Michigan State, and you can't have 4 turnovers against Ohio State. They had 4 turnovers, and because of it, they lost the football game.
All right, West Virginia loses to Syracuse today, but the news after the game is Don Nehlen announcing he will retire. He has 199 wins. I know that is your alma mater. You have great affection for Don Nehlen.
Well, I sure do. You know, I know he hates going out 4-4-4-2. He'd like to go out a winner, but this guy is the winningest coach in West Virginia history. It's my alma mater. I was raised in Morgantown. He gave them some of their greatest moments, 2 11-0 seasons. You know, I hate to see him go, but I hope he goes out and retires and has a great enjoyment living there in Morgantown.
And get him 200 before he retires. Let's remind you what we have coming your way next week. We begin things at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Some of you will see #1 Oklahoma, a tough one on the road against Texas A&M, or a game in the Big Ten, either Penn State against Michigan or Purdue against Michigan State. Check local listings for the game in your area. Then at 4 o'clock Pacific time on the West Coast only, UCLA against #7 Washington. Stick around. We'll continue with more of the MSN Halftime Report in a moment. Well, you know all about the 4 horsemen. How about the 27, 28 horsemen?
No, don't laugh, John. I go over there every Friday and sneak a ride on the carousel. I'm not too big. I managed to get in.
Exercise any way you can. This is the MSN Halftime Report. John Saunders and Terry Bowden here. Northwestern trailing Michigan at halftime. Both these teams with their eyes on the Rose Bowl because Purdue could stumble.
I know Michigan has so much talent. You've got to say this is a Michigan team. They can score with Anthony Thomas. He has over 100 yards. David Terrell has 3 touchdown receptions. But you never can knock out Northwestern. They were down 21 points last week, came back threw a Hail Mary pass at the end of the game and won the game as time ran out.
All right, elsewhere, #1 Oklahoma has moved up from #20 at the start of the season. This guy, a big reason why. Josh Heupel is making a run at the Heisman Trophy. He hooks up with Curtis Fagan a couple of times in this game.
This is an offensive powerhouse. They can score so many ways. Josh Heupel, really one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best in the country right now. And Baylor really never had a chance. Bob Stoops, who just got a new $1.4 million contract, will earn it next week against Texas A&M.
They may have already earned some of the money, at least 3 touchdown receptions for Curtis Fagan. You see Heupel again. Is he moving to the forefront in the Heisman? You think so or not?
You got to say it because he's the only quarterback that's undefeated, and they've got to say something for somebody that doesn't lose.
Yeah, without question. But again, next week will be a tough one against A&M. Nebraska got them last week. Eric Crouch here. 3 yards on the touchdown run. Crouch doing it on the ground, also through the air, hooking up with Tracy Wistrom.
Well, he had 3 touchdowns today, but you know what? They still have to get more touchdown and rushing yards out of their tailbacks to have the kind of year they need to have, and in the second half we're going to see.
Look at the rushing yardage at the bottom of that stat. 35-3 and 4 rushing touchdowns and 1 through the air for Eric Crouch. Arizona and Washington. Washington looking at the Rose Bowl, or perhaps even more. Leo Mills, 10 yards on this run. Point after was no good. Arizona had a 9-0 lead. But Marcus Tuiasosopo showing the footwork.
Well, I tell you, the thing about Washington is don't count them out in the second half. They've been behind 4 times in the fourth quarter and come back and win all 4 of those games. Mike
Detweiler from 4 yards out for Arizona. And at halftime, Arizona did have the lead. They're set to start, and they have started the third quarter now. 16-10 the score there. Oregon State, what a year they're having. 4-1 in the conference, 7-1 overall, and blasting out Cal 31-19 at halftime.
Well, if you don't stop Ken Simonton for 100 yards, they're going to lose to Oregon State. He's the first Pac-10 player ever to rush for 1,000 his freshman, sophomore, and junior seasons.
Oregon at number 8. Maurice Morris has a touchdown run, but they're all tied up at 7 apiece.
I tell you, yeah, but you got to like Oregon in the second half. They're 16-2 in November in the last 7 years, and you win your conference in November.
All right, in Conference USA, Louisville facing Southern Miss. Southern Miss just rolls in this conference. They've had no problem since joining it, 3-0 right now. 21-14, though, they trail at halftime.
Well, Southern Miss just doesn't have an offense. They're second in the nation in scoring defense, but the winner here goes to the Conference Championship Liberty Bowl. Southern Miss is going to need to get some offense and score some points.
We'll keep you up to date on that one throughout the second half. Texas A&M, perhaps looking ahead to Oklahoma next week?
We called a sandwich game. They had Kansas State last week. They won. They've got Oklahoma next week, and if they beat Oklahoma, they could be the Southern Division champions in the Big 12 and put a whole wrench in everything.
Mississippi State and Kentucky. Jared Lorenzen, he's the quarterback for Kentucky as a freshman. Dusty Bonner was chased out of there. He went to Valdosta State, and he may be smiling today. Here's an interception. Lorenzen threw 4 interceptions. Now has thrown more INTs than touchdown passes this year.
You got to question Hal Mummy's decision to run off Dusty Bonner. Comes back and goes with a freshman. He throws 18 interceptions this year. Tons of yardage, but tons of interceptions. They haven't won a conference game this year.
All right, and 2-7 overall. Alabama and LSU. 14-7 LSU. Josh Booty with 2 touchdown passes.
Yeah, but the big story here today was Mike Dubose. He was fired. He was fired earlier this week, and you have to wonder what kind of preparation they can have, what kind of confidence they can have in the second half with that loss of Mike Dubose.
But think about that. Alabama wins out. They could go to the conference championship game.
Well, that's the crazy thing about the SEC and the BCS.
Yeah, without question. All right, earlier today on ABC, you could call it the Tiger Watch. It was third-round coverage of the Tour Championship. For more on that, Mike Tirico.
John, thanks. The cliche on the PGA Tour is Saturday is moving day. This was separation day. We saw 4 of the world's best move away from the pack at the Tour Championship, especially Tiger Woods. 4 under par round of 66. He was very solid with his irons, making 7 birdies, almost a hole-in-one on the par 3-6. He shares the lead with B.J. Singh heading into tomorrow's final round. Woods goes for his 10th win this calendar year. We'll see him start on ESPN, and our coverage concludes for 3 hours tomorrow on ABC.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot. And again, Tiger Woods, I know that's where I'll be sitting watching that. Stick around. The second half still to come. Michigan and Northwestern, both with sights on the Rose Bowl. David Terrell with 3 touchdown receptions from Drew Henson, 28-23. The ice skaters out in full force in Central Park, which means the holidays must be around the corner. John Saunders and Terry Bowden, you got your skates? Want to go down?
I'm a Southerner. No way I'm going to ice skate right now, I'm telling you.
Only ice for you is in the glass.
Yes.
All right, teams thinking about their season skating way. Tennessee, one of them until they beat Alabama and South Carolina. Scare against Memphis today. Scott Scherer going 24 yards to Billy Kendall, and Memphis had the lead, but Tennessee kicker Alex Walsh gets the win here.
Well, this shouldn't surprise you. Memphis plays Tennessee great every year. Last year, Tennessee won 17-16. This year, another like score.
Well, Penn State, Rashard Casey here in overtime, and this is a pick by Ryan Henson after the tip. Iowa, for the second time in 5 years, wins in Happy Valley, and now at best 6-6 for Penn State this year.
Yeah, but you get rid of the distractions. They had a nice comeback, but this is still not a very good team at Penn State. They've got a long way to go. It's going to take an off season to correct the problem.
They got some good news this week. Rashard Casey involved, or allegedly involved, in an altercation with an off-duty police officer this off-season. The grand jury has decided not to indict him.
Well, every coach is used to having his coaching question, and Joe Paterno has his coaching question. He's used to that. But when you question a person's judgment, moral judgment, leadership, you really attack them. Joe Paterno made the right decisions at Penn State.
Joe Paterno vindicated as much as
That's
Rashard Casey, even though he's struggling with everything else this season. Right now, back out to the game.
And here we're enjoying the Northwestern Wildcat Marching Band, the director, Daniel J. Ferris. We'll have the second half here on ABC after this message and a word from our ABC station.
You're watching ABC 5 Calumet, 28 Marquette, Cable Channel 10.
(28-23) at the half, folks, and we have had 641 total yards of offense. Gary, that's unbelievable.
This ball right here. Keep the ball. Not a turnover in the game. Hold it, my friend, right here, okay? Because whoever has it last may win this thing. Incredible. Both sides have been able to move the ball.
Oh, it's going to be a remarkable second half here at Evanston as Northwestern was able to hang tough and stick with it. They were down 28-10.
Two great offenses. The playing matchups with Terrell and Henson has kind of put that defense at odds, but they've been matched with a team on offense from Northwestern that has moved the ball at will.
Michigan will handle it to start the second half. There's that short, high kickoff, and there's the fair catch. And Lloyd Carr was coming out of the locker room, and Jackaroot caught up with him on the way to the field. Let's listen.
Coach, you seemed a little upset at that onside kick. Why?
Well, I think they were offside. I think that's a little advantage.
What sort of changes are you going to make?
Well, we've just got to keep playing hard. We're playing hard. We're making some good hits. Hopefully we can force a turnover or two, and offensively we've got to keep scoring points.
Congratulations and good luck.
Thanks, Jeff.
What's that congratulations for, Gary?
Well, it's balance against you and I. Northwestern guys, right?
All right. Here's Henson up under center. Dean Thomas to start the second half. Goes nowhere, and Billy Silva, the middle linebacker, makes the stop. And Gary, let's look at the Morgan Stanley Dean Witter first half stats.
And amazingly, 51 plays in the first half, and that's how it wears you down. Some big plays by Michigan, but across the board, everyone's making big plays. But look how many more plays Northwestern has run.
Second down and 10. Henson 9 of 15 for 132 and 3 touchdowns, all to number 1, David Terrell.
I'm sorry, Brent. The matchup outside still there, one-on-one, Terrell and Buck.
Play fake Henson. He's looking for him, and he's got him again underneath for a first down, and that's 14 more yards, and this time Marquise Walker slipping in underneath.
Michigan had the ball, and I think for the only time I remember was the last possession, and it cost them some points not getting that ball out of their own zone there at the end of that half. But before then, they were a machine, much like that Purdue game. That's the play they needed for the first play of the end of the half.
First down. A running play. They'll try to stretch the defense out. And it's the fullback, Askew, the ball carrier for the first time this game.
Henson so quick, gets rid of that ball. Dwayne Missouri right in his face. And boom, he's just in and out of his hands. The guy's got a big arm, a quick arm. He's heady. He doesn't turn it over. I mean, you're looking at a franchise quarterback at the next level. Watch Missouri come right off the corner here, unblocked. Naked, boom, with a guy right on him. That is big time. Getting rid of him. The A-train doesn't get tackled.
Blackman comes over to shadow Terrell on the right of the quarterback. Found away at the middle with Thomas and hanging on is Silva.
Anthony Thomas broke the big one right up the middle. He went right up the middle and down the sideline. Beyond that, it's been mostly a passing game. Brent, I almost agree with you. It's almost as if Northwestern is inviting Michigan to throw the ball outside, saying, we're just going to have to live with one part of the game, and we'll let you throw it if you're good enough, because they're not allowing Michigan to run inside. Same defense, man-to-man to the outside, 10-yard buffer.
Second and 5. Henson gets protection, fires. Terrell's got it inside the 20 to the 15-yard line, where it will be first down, Wolverines.
10-yard buffer, and they go right into the technique this time. Look at how much inside the corner is, about 5 yards. Terrell comes inside, and with that big body of his, you'll see the quarterback just let it go, and there's the shield. Look at that. That's how you do it in the bigs. Hard to call a different play, isn't it, when you see that out there every time?
First down. Now the running formation. Thomas stretching the defense, and he's bumped out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Let's go quickly to Jack.
The Brent offensive coordinator for the Michigan Wolverines uses this tool in the third quarter. Throughout the first half, what Stan Parrish does is he checks off every play that he has charted, which ones work. In the third quarter, he says the predominant plays he calls are the ones with the blue check mark.
Well, his whole board, they're staying right there, is blue. It's all blue.
Except for those last two plays in the first half, okay? I need to get big X's through those.
He needs another pen.
2nd and 5. Play fake, and Henson left alone. Waits for the wide open in the end zone. The tight end, Billy Seymour. 11-yard touchdown. And that's the 4th touchdown pass of the day for number 7.
Sean Weber that time, the safety, really lost control of his receiver. He had a man-to-man, the tight end all the way, and then right at the end, he just lost discipline and forgot to cover. There it is, man-to-man right to the outside. Now watch what happened. They both go to the front guy, and the safety should have stayed back with Seymour.
The extra point is good. Jeff Delverne adding it. Seymour on the touchdown. In there all day. Henson can't believe it. 35-23, timeout. Hey, sometimes somebody other than number 1 can catch a touchdown pass. Yeah, Jimmy Seymour with the score for the Wolverines, up 35-23. Louis Ayeni is back deep for the Wildcats. His first return of the game. Smacked at the 21-yard line. We bring in a very special guest, good friend of both of ours, Joe Tiller, the head coach at Purdue. And Joe, what does a head coach do on his off day? When he gets that bye week, what are you doing down there at West Lafayette, partner?
Well, you watch football games and sweat bullets.
Now, what are you sweating about? You're in the driver's seat to go to the Rose Bowl, Joe.
Well, as all coaches say, there's a lot of football left, and we certainly are aware of that here at Purdue.
Joe, it's got to be different. It's like watching the WAC conference out here in the Big Ten. They thought it was a gimmick when you brought this offense in.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a great football game, and of course, it doesn't look like either defense has the answers just yet.
You know, Joe, there's a big difference between Northwestern and Purdue. As I watch them, they sort of run first and you pass first. Is that accurate in describing these two spread offenses?
Yeah, I would say that's very true, particularly the option, which I think Northwestern's doing a great job with today.
Well, we'll watch this 2nd and 10 play here, Coach, as Kustok has got the play from the sideline. And, Gary, we should ask the coach about the way they communicate. And here they are handing off, and Anderson's got daylight. 40. Down at the 46-yard line. And, Joe, Gary did such a great job in the first half of describing the communication process here at Northwestern. How do you feel about the way they call plays?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to adjust to the tempo of the game defensively. You know, I like what they do, etc., and it's very rarely are they going to be in a bad play as a result of their system.
Well, here's a first down after that run, and Kustok going to fire incomplete.
Pretty smartly threw it away. Coach, you know, Drew Brees has gotten such great publicity, but your defense has really been upgraded.
Well, I agree, Gary. We've gotten better defensively. We're playing a lot of young players, but they're very aggressive, and they have good foot speed, and that always helps.
Joe, how did your defense shut down Northwestern? You did the best job on them this year, partner.
We got lucky.
Coach, I got to ask one more thing. Have you been writing these scripts to the end of these games that you've been playing 3 tremendous finishes for Purdue?
Well, we've got a great senior class, and we're getting great leadership from these guys, and they believe they can win any football game, and fortunately we've been there at the end of the game, and we've had a few of them go our way.
Joe, watch the screen now. I know you got the sound down there. Now, I want you to watch this, partner. Here's Travis Dorsch out of Bozeman, Montana. Second one's good. Now, folks, watch the sideline. Drew Henson didn't act like that. And look at the others. There you are, partner. That's your happiest moment of the year. Why, heck, that was as big as when you're out in Montana State.
Absolutely. A lot of fun.
All right. Hey, Joe, good luck the rest of the way. I know a lot of folks around the Midwest, they don't want to pull against their team, but right behind, they're pulling for Purdue to go all the way. It's a wonderful story.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. You guys doing a great job. Keep it up.
All right.
Good luck, Joe.
Thank you.
2 victories away from going to Pasadena down at your alma mater. He's done some job down there. First down now for the Wildcats, and they need 26 yards. Quarterback draw, not going to get many of them. Let's take a look at the standings. There's Joe and Purdue up at the top. They have a road game at Michigan State, and they close out at home against Indiana. The winner here, of course, needs some help. And today, a full slate of activity. Penn State lost a tough one in the second overtime at home against Iowa. Wisconsin came up big again, and now it's 27 yards here for the Wildcats. Kustok takes off again. Tackled at the 34-yard line by Cantillo.
Getting behind for this Northwestern offense. They had the penalty, got them in this long yardage situation. This offense is not built this way, but the thing that Zach has to do now, and he does such a great job of it, is not turning it over. A punt is not usually the worst thing to happen. I don't know about today. You give it to Michigan, they score.
Kustok. They take off again. But he's going to be out of bounds, and a penalty flag flies as he went out of bounds. Could have been a late hit on that sideline.
That is one of the toughest calls, I think, for a defender. Brackens that time is coming around. He knows how dangerous Kustok is, so he flies through the air and gets perhaps a penalty called on him. It's really, really touchy. You really don't know, as shifty as Kustok is he going to go out of bounds or not? That's a bad call. Barely touched him, and he had his foot in bounds when he hit him. I think that's very tough to call and give a team that type of call.
Yeah, I agree.
15-yard penalty with a runner went out of bounds. Automatic first down.
Yeah, it's a good thing that didn't happen on the Michigan sideline, or we might have had some problems with one. He's 53 yards away, and he's hot on that one, and I don't blame him.
Boy, the Northwestern would have had to punt.
Yes.
That is a huge penalty against Michigan. Takes the ball into Wolverine territory at the 45-yard line. And there's Anderson on that draw that they run to the 41-yard line. And college football on ABC, brought to you by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. Pacific Life, annuities, insurance, investments. Use the power of Pacific Life. Sears and the Sears National Champion Football Trophy. And Burger King got the urge.
I haven't talked much about that Northwestern offensive line, but they are very efficient also.
Kustok steps up now, fires middles open, got his man. Inside the 15 goes Quinley Patrick. First down, Wildcats.
Huge penalty, and Zach Kustok takes great advantage of it. Comes up in the pocket. I don't think there's anybody in the Big Ten that throws the ball as well as Kustok does on the run. Quinley Patrick's going to go down about 15 yards. He's the guy that had the tip last week. Look at that throw. Right at the face mask out in front of him. That's perfect.
Anderson to the 9. Petrozello with the stop for the Wolverines.
You know, we're talking about that offensive line for Northwestern. They're not a big line. They're a bit undersized. Austin King, their center, goes about 275. Jeff Rail, a transfer from Notre Dame, the right guard, about 290. They have to run. They're in great shape, and with this offense, you better be.
They hold up well that time. He throws back in underneath. Jordan inside the 5-yard line. This will be third down and short coming up for NU.
A little surprised we don't see Sam Simmons on the field, although I do see him coming out right now. He's their kind of game breaker on that play. That was the same play they used against Minnesota to get it, and Simmons back in the game. Michigan's in a one-safety look. Looks like they're going to come this time.
incomplete to behind. Interference has been called. The penalty flag thrown.
The question is, was the ball tipped?
And Carr upset again. And Carr claiming it was tipped.
That's the question right here. Wonder if Eric Wilson can see it on the outside. Howard. I don't know. Didn't see much there. The ball looked like it was tipped to me when I watched it live, Brent.
I'm going to tell you that number 17 might have come in there a little bit late on that one also. Mr. Foote may have come up. The flag was thrown from the back of the end zone.
Right.
I'm not so sure it wasn't thrown on that hit after the ball was dead. Let's see. I'm going to tell you, he gave him some lick.
Preliminary signal. Wow. See how the ball went behind the receiver when it was thrown. Foot is right here. Ball is thrown. No, didn't look like it.
On the defense, the ball be put in the 2-yard. Automatic first down.
They made the call on Todd Howard, not on Larry Foote.
Yep.
And it was not tipped. I was wrong. 2 huge penalties in this drive.
First down and goal for NU. And they'll line him up tight again, and Anderson's the feature back in this formation. Short of the goal line. 3 Wolverines jumping.
Really hard to believe they go big guys this time. They got the fullback in there. High formation. The only time they snap to the quarterback. Direct.
And the first to hit him. Straight basic eye. Play fake. Kustok throws wide open. Touchdown! The tight end, David Foreman.
Great play calling from this staff at Northwestern, keeping Michigan completely off balance. Tight end's coming right out here from the outside. Second down, best time to do it. One step in, easy pitch and catch, but the huge call on Brackens, I thought, really changed the tempo of that drive and kept Northwestern alive.
No question. Northwestern got a huge break on that third down personal foul going out of bounds, and they made the most of it. And they were going to wind up trying to go for 2 and nothing doing on it with J.J. Standring, the holder back there. And so it's 35-29.
Ball was snapped low. Could never really get it up in time. Kind of bailed out on it. And it's a 6-point game instead of a 5-point game.
A wide open David Foreman. Touchdown, Northwestern. They make the most of their opportunity. 35-29. Well, you can hear these guys on the radio all the time. Now you can see them when your favorite recording artists get together on the 2000 Radio Music Awards. That's live tonight on ABC.
Well, as the verse goes, don't stop doing what you're doing. That's what Michigan's got to keep going to Terrell, and there you go. And nice Northwestern purple for you right there.
There's that high, short kickoff again. Fielded on the 27-yard line. And down to the 35-yard line was Chantior. So here in Evanston, Illinois, a wild one between Michigan and Northwestern, both in pursuit of Purdue and also pursuit of a good bowl bid. And here are the last couple of touchdowns that we have witnessed. Henson taking the second half kickoff to Seymour, the tight end. It's a day for tight ends. Back to Foreman. The Wildcats respond. 35-29, a 6-point difference right now, and you can see how much offense we've had in this game. We're headed for more than 1,000 yards of offense, and we've still got 8.5 minutes left in quarter number 3. Play fake. Henson wants Terrell deflected. Got it. Terrell on the ricochet is out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Let's check in with Jackaroo. Jack.
Brent, I've been covering sidelines, roaming up and down for almost 20 years. I always see these Gatorade bottles and, you know, taking care of electrolytes. I think I may have found Northwestern's secret weapon today. Look here. Have you ever seen chocolate milk on the sidelines of a college football game before? If they win, every team will have chocolate milk next week.
It's like the pickle juice. Remember that?
That helped my eyesight, Jack. That was Marquise Walker and not Terrell underneath it. Now it sends them up on it. First down. They come back with Thomas close to the 50-yard line, and Silva makes the stop, the leading tackler. You know, we talk about number 7, Henson. He has thrown 4 touchdowns here today. That ties the school record. He now has thrown 165 passes without an interception. That dates back to October of '99 against Michigan State.
Well, he doesn't have to read too many different coverages in this game because it has been man-to-man to the outside. You look at Jerry Brown, he's stuck with his defense the whole way. Very few changes.
4-man rush. Thomas to daylight. Silva trips him up, but it's first down, Michigan.
Isolation play, B.J. Askew. There he goes, tapping him on the head. You know why? Because Askew right here is going to come right up and get the block on the linebacker. That's one of the things that Anthony Thomas does so well. Lets his teammates know, great job. Billy Silva can't make the tackle quite until he wraps him up, but after a big first down.
There's a handoff to Thomas again, and brought down by Harris from behind. You can just imagine how hard the defensive coaches have to work when you take on Northwestern. They have been huddled on that far side. Patman with the headset is conferring up above. Furman has been talking to him. They have been doing a lot of substituting. There they are making a point to Foot, number 17. They're barely watching the offense. They'll look up occasionally, and now they are at this play on second down over there. And here is Thomas. First down, Michigan at the Northwestern 30-yard line.
Pound that ball inside, finesse it outside. Very simple game plan. Running to the left behind Backus and Hutchinson. Not too hard. Got a lot of talent. Use it.
You know, I find it interesting that some scouts have speculated as to whether or not Hutch can play left tackle, which is the premier position. He might be just a touch short when you see him. I mean, there's no question he's going to play in the offensive line for a long time. He's the left guard here for Michigan today, but we shall see how that works out. Thomas today has rushed for 143 yards. Here he comes again. Not much doing this time. Got a couple perhaps, but that would be giving him the best of it. Speaking of the NFL, a reminder, live at 9 Eastern Monday night, Dante Culpepper and the Vikes, they battle the Green Bay Packers. Then on Sunday night on ESPN, it's the Carolina Panthers and the St. Louis Rams. So, chance for you to check out Trent Green if you haven't seen him. Fine, efficient quarterback. And as long as Marshall Faulk stays healthy, he's going to be just fine, folks. Faulk is having an MVP-type year for the Rams. Second down and 9. Play fake Henson. Got protection, snaps it off, and this one is dropped incomplete by Marquise Walker. And, you know, I can just read Terrell's body language. He said, what are you, forgetting about me all of a sudden?
It's a play they've run so far in this game about 6 times. Covington on Walker. And when we talked to Jerry Brown, the defensive coordinator, we started talking about Terrell. He says, remember the other guy ain't bad either. Walker went to him on that outcut. Now we'll see if they come back to Terrell for the first down.
They got a 3rd and 9. Terrell's caught 6 balls. Walker 5. Terrell for 93 yards. Walker for 74. But Terrell has scored 3 touchdowns in this game.
And Bellamy's in the game. 3 receivers.
Back in that shotgun. Looking now. Northwestern tries to blitz, and they got it on the slant. They hit Bellamy out of the slot to the 11-yard line. First down, Michigan.
That's what's so tough. You come in with Bellamy, you're thinking Walker, you're thinking Terrell. This time you've got a safety covering inside. Bellamy comes in, boom, inside technique, gets inside and makes the play. Perfect read by the quarterback.
You know, the one thing we see here at Northwestern, Jerry, they don't have any depth with defensive backs.
You just got to hope sometimes for a bad game from the quarterback, and he ain't getting a bad game from the quarterback.
1st and 10. Thomas goes outside with a quick move. Penalty flags come flying as he goes out of bounds on that far side.
Penalty flag on the play.
They are continuing to pound, and they're pounding like that old Oakland Raider offense with Shell and Upshaw to the left side. They are running left. Here they come. Block down, Hutch, pull the guard around. Jonathan Goodwin, and let the big fella come to the outside. And I think they probably got a face mask on at the end of that play.
Incidental face mask on the defense. Have to be shoots to the goal line. Still first down. Distance to the goal line from the spot of the foul. It'll be first and 1.
So with a 1st and goal, Thomas, it'll be 2nd and goal. Now a reminder, you can check in on Tiger Woods tomorrow at 2 Eastern time. BJ Singh, and that's the Tour Championship presented by Southern Company.
Brent, I do believe that Michigan can't pick up a first down here. I think it's 2nd and short.
2nd and, yes, they can. For the end zone, touchdown.
Not going to need it.
Anthony Thomas.
Big blue machine, which I think is one of the 2, or I'd say 3 offenses in college football, the top 3 offenses. 1 is Florida State, 2 is Oklahoma, and I think Michigan is the 3rd or top 3, either way you want it, offenses in the college football right now. So many weapons.
Extra point is good. Here's the A train one more time. 26 carries, 153 yards, and now 2 touchdowns. Michigan 42, Northwestern 29, and I can't believe that Gary Danielson just listed 3 top offenses and didn't mention his alma mater, Purdue.
Oh, my God.
Last time I watched...
Joe, I'm sorry, Joe.
I can't believe it. I'm sitting here, folks. I was almost stunned to silence.
See, and you didn't help me either, did you?
No, I let you hang.
No, I
knew I'd get you after commercial.
Joey
I could set you up, baby.
Joey bagged me.
What are you talking about?
Nice,
I mean, it was 28-10. Michigan couldn't get him out yet. What's wrong with what Drew Brees did against Ohio State last week?
Nice, buddy.
The kickoff into the end zone. And the young man coming out, and it's a great return for Ayeni. Crosses midfield, and folks, here come the Wildcats again.
Louis Ayeni has been hurt with a hip flexor all year. Came in just 2 games ago, gave up his red shirt. Tailback, slot back. Sam Simmons been getting pounded on, so you go to your number 2 guy, and where did Northwestern get on? I guess, you know what, Brendan, really stands out. Gary Barnett left Randy Walker some time.
Yes, he did. I think we have to admit that. I know that Gary's unpopular in some quarters of Northwestern, and maybe he didn't leave and tell his players in the proper manner, but there were some football players, and Randy's done a good job with him, and he too has recruited well. So life goes on. Barnett's got some good talent out at Boulder also. A couple years he'll be pretty good. 1st down and 10. That fake draw play this time, and Kustok going nowhere because Mr. Foot was there to make the tackle.
Zach Kustok out.
So there's our 1st and 10 marker that you can see, and that's brought to you by Pacific Life here today. That's always
Seems
nice.
so short with this shot. It seems like it's no big deal. I played for 14 years. It was so hard to get.
Our cameras are up high. You played in a smaller field in the NFL, my friend.
Not as much space.
Anderson comes free. Daylight. Foot race. Touchdown.
Man, oh man.
45 yards. We've had almost 900 yards of offense here today, and we've still got 3:40 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Damian was recruited by all the big ones. Michigan, Notre Dame, Nebraska. He said he took a visit, but he said he felt comfortable with what Northwestern could offer him, and he said they had turned the program around, and it just felt like a fit for him. He's fitting in this offense perfectly.
Let's see if there's a good snap on this extra point. Timmy Long. And it was a good snap this time, and he adds the extra point. It's 42-36. Mike Souza, the long snapper. So another 200-yard day for Mr. Anderson. 25 carries, 259 yards against a Michigan defense which came in here with back-to-back shutouts. Timeout.
Play it for me, DJ.
They're the hottest artists on the radio right now.
Definitely.
And they're all coming together for one event.
Live.
The 2000 Radio Music Awards. You'll see NSYNC, Britney Spears, Creed, Christina Aguilera, Joe, Enrique Iglesias, No Doubt, and more.
It's all about you.
Your requests.
Your desires.
Your music. Mark McGrath, Cisco, and the Backstreet Boys host the 2000 Radio Music Awards.
Live.
Tonight.
Definitely.
On ABC.
Ba-da-ba-da.
It's 42-36, 259, and you wouldn't bet against 300 here.
No, you know, early in the year this year, Damian Anderson had 290-plus yards against Indiana, and a lot of people were saying to Randy Walker, why didn't you keep him in? And Randy Walker said, we're not into setting records in the 5th game of the season. We're looking for wins.
Gary, we've had 899 total yards.
Get ready. Do we have a 4 digits anywhere in this yardage thing? If we flash it up, we're going to be over 1,000. The Mississippi defense. I might have to put Northwestern at the top. Can I expand to 5?
See, exactly. Here we go.
Boy.
Well, Drew Henson's turn, and folks, he's 15 of 22 for 222 and 4 touchdowns here today.
Remember when we threw that ball up at halftime? Whoever gets his ball last, I think. Look at, that's exactly how you feel. David Terrell's smiling. He says, man, I'm finally in a game where I can let number 7 throw it to me all day.
That's good. That's good politics. Get in tight with your quarterback before. There's this onside kick again, but this time Michigan makes the catch at the 45-yard line. I wonder about that one. Let's check in with Jack. That's a pretty short field there, Jack.
Yeah, Brent, I'll tell you what, though. It's a pretty surprising performance by Northwestern thus far this season. When you take a look at some of the preseason publications, they didn't think that Northwestern was going to do very well. In fact, when they looked at the Big Ten, they said Michigan to be good. Look where they posted Northwestern. I'll tell you, this team didn't agree with it. In fact, Zach Kustok went to the Big Ten meetings and he said, we're going to be in the hunt for the Big Ten title, folks.
And he was right. Yeah, Northwestern was ranked number 86 in the country by Sports Illustrated. And they weren't the only magazine that had them ranked down there.
You know, one of the things, that's but pretty much everybody, not just SI, maybe us included. You know, we didn't know. Remember, this is a team that has lost 15 of their last 16 games of the Big Ten coming into this season. But Michigan knows what's out in front of them. They've got to score, and they got to keep scoring.
Trouble going deep down the middle. Number 1 penalty flag incomplete, but there was a penalty flag thrown at the goal line as Terrell was breaking free, and he thinks he should have caught it, and I'm not so sure he shouldn't have either.
He could have caught it, that's right, but Blackman did a good job. In college ball, it's just a 15-yard penalty for interference, and he knew he was beat, and he grabbed Terrell. Kind of threw David a little bit off balance. Drew Henson did a great job of avoiding the pass rush. There it is. Look at the inside technique. Way inside for Blackman. Little bend outside. Now watch Harold just say, oh, I'm beat. I'm going to grab a hold of him. And then by the time David says, well, he misjudged it. He basically misjudged that ball.
Slowed up. He could have run through it and made the catch.
Yep.
And David knew it. Tough afternoon for number 6, boy. He matched all day long against him one-on-one. I mean, he has flopped with him all day long. He's back outside to the right, and Terrell saying, come on.
Let's go.
Come on, number 6.
Go.
You and me, baby, all day long. Thomas says, I'll carry it for a couple of yards. And pretty good one coming your way on ESPN as far as college football is concerned tonight. Clemson got caught looking ahead last week and got picked off by Georgia Tech, but they'll play Florida State. Chris Winkie in Tallahassee tonight at 7 Eastern Time.
Perhaps the thinking on the onside kick was, well, they won't get as many yards from the 50 as they will if we kick them down to the 30.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with trying it the second time in the game, but whatever. Second down.
Man to man.
And Henson rolling, firing, and that time incomplete and out of bounds. Let's check in with John Saunders. John?
Flag down.
Brent, time for the Burger King play of the day. Arizona and Washington. Washington looking at the Rose Bowl, or perhaps even better. They got to stop Bobby Wade on the punt return. Breaks a couple of tackles, then a nice cut right there. 60 yards for the touchdown. Arizona pulling away from Washington, although the Huskies starting to put something together right now, but they trail 25-13, Brent.
Very interesting, John, that Washington at home having trouble. There's the holding call against the offense, a 10-yard penalty, and coach is beside himself.
Well, that time Jerry Brown mixed it up one-on-one to the outside, and he blitzed. He told us yesterday he feels very uncomfortable blitzing a lot because Michigan max protects, meaning they keep everybody in and just send 1 or 2 receivers out. And you can understand why when you have a mismatch like Terrell on anyone really in college football. You know, if you can beat Fletcher at Wisconsin, and Fletcher did a great job on him all day, you feel pretty confident.
Second and 20, and the Wolverine offensive linemen with their spacing as they hold hands. And Henson, receivers, but now he's going to fire, and this one is high, out of bounds.
Henson did a great job. You know, you're right. The athletic ability of Henson is just night and day from the beginning of the year when he was limping around, maybe playing 70% when he got back in there to now. He's a weapon moving around.
42-36, folks. This is a big play for Northwestern right here. Third down and 20.
David Terrell went over to the bench and called the play. He went over and signaled what he wanted, and he just he shook his head like, I wonder if he got his call.
There goes Blackman flopping to that side. Henson looks middle high, incomplete. It's 4th down. Marquise Walker, and Terrell walks disgustedly off to the far side.
I don't think he called that, do you?
No. And Hayden Epstein, who has a very long leg, their punter, trots onto the field right now, along with John Navarre. They're going to try a long field goal here with Hayden Epstein.
Well, remember, they have punted out of this look also, but this would be where the missed extra point by Northwestern would come in big. Would make it a 9-point game.
52-yarder. It's tricky here. Beautiful. 52 yards for Epstein. And the lead is 45-36. That's a 9-point lead, so you cannot tie it with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Epstein, who missed a couple early ones, but he's been punting great, and he's the long kicker, and he drilled that one.
And Napoleon Harris, number 8, was making a pretty good charge at the field goal kicker. So that was a nice snap. They didn't take much time to get it off that time. Well done. He, of course, is the kickoff man, and now it'll be up to the Michigan defense to see if they can stop this Northwestern attack. We've still got 2:28 to go. When you look at the Northwestern numbers, Anderson has rushed for 259 yards already in this game. Kustok has thrown for 185. He, too, has run for 38. Simmons has caught 7 for 92. And Ayene goes back deep for the Epstein kickoff. And remember, he had a 54-yard return the last time he handled the football.
Turned out that Blackman's pass interference strategy there worked out. David Terrell misjudged it in the pro game. That goes to the 1-yard line.
You're exactly right. That's big.
Yep. Smart play. Very smart. Give him 15 yards, not a touchdown.
So Terrell hurts even more that he didn't run through that pass. Here's the kickoff. It's high and heading for the out of bounds, and that's a costly penalty. Well, he giveth and he taketh away, huh? 52-yarder, and then he whacks it out of bounds.
Free kick going out of bounds, untouched by the receiver. Ball put on the 35-yard.
So out it comes now with Zach Kustok. You know, Gary, I got a moment with the Northwestern offense, and I know I haven't spoken about the backup quarterback on this team, and it's Gary's son, young Matt Danielson, fine-looking youngster over there on the Northwestern sideline. Number 19, I know Pops in one way would like to see him play, another way he'd like to see Zach keep going here, and Matt stay on the bench.
Wonderful football game, and Zach deserves every play. He's had a great year.
He has indeed. First down and 10. Kustok comes up firing right away, and Howard couldn't make the stop initially, and let's check in with Jack.
Well, Brent, we know Zach Kustok is a good football player, but did you know he's also an outstanding basketball player? Take a look at the spot shadow. That's number 33, Zach Kustok, Carl Sandburg High School. They're playing Joliet. He drives down. This is a three-pointer for the win. He made it, and you know what, Brent? He can dunk as well.
You know, he knew you were going to show it go in the net, so that's why he ran up and changed the play. Kustok fakes the option. That look that Joe Tiller was speaking about, and it is kind of interesting the way they run that play to either side, Gary. A wrinkle of that attack with Eric Brackens making the stop. He did not get the first down, however.
They will also do it with the wide receiver backing up. They have not showed that yet. Many times this guy will back up and be the pitch man, much like Air Force. I don't think so. Nothing. Now we'll see.
Penalty flag. Did Zach get
late at the end, maybe right at the end of face mask.
He's pointing up at his face. Now, I'm not sure that it involved him, but he came out of that pile.
I know he didn't make. I don't think he made it with his initial push.
He's going over to get a towel.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Yeah, that'll do it. That is 2 critical personal fouls against Michigan here in the second half.
That one must have been pretty obvious because that was called by the head referee from behind, who's got his eyes drilled to the quarterback throughout the whole game.
Kustok checking the sideline. The plays come in. The receivers turn in that direction to see what the coaches are going to call. And then Kustok will run up behind the offensive line to make sure they know if there's a change-up. Got a 1st and 10. This time it was the backup running back who was in the game, Kevin Lawrence, number 22, getting the carry. So the final minute coming up here of the third quarter in an offensive contest in the Big Ten. With Jack Arute and Gary Danielson, I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along with us. The last minute of the third quarter. It is 45-36. Kustok firing complete to Simmons, who has had a monstrous day. And Simmons on the afternoon has caught 10 passes for him.
Kustok does such a great job of not being a target. This team at Northwestern had trouble with sacks the year before. He throws off the run outside the pocket, doesn't hold on to it long, and just keeps moving the chains.
Zach is looking over for the signs being signaled in. Michigan shifts its defense, and now Kustok comes up. The coach upstairs had changed it. Plenty of time on the play clock.
Michigan's giving the hitch pass. Let's see if they throw it. There it is.
Kustok does. First down.
Michigan was playing 10 yards off on 3rd and 5 that time, giving them the hitch. The coach looked down, made the call. It's like playing football on TV.
Now Simmons with 111 yards here today. They're the two coaches, one with the dummy.
Well, they're doing the same thing. So you can't do the same because then they're both not dummies.
Kristoff's got an open man inside the 10-yard line, out of bounds at the 7. First and goal, Teddy Johnson, 22 yards.
4th quarter.
Remember what Coach Walker said. We won't quit. You got to kill us to beat us. The 4th quarter after this message and a word from our ABC station.
You're watching ABC 5 Calumet, 28 Marquette, Cable Channel 10.
Michigan Northwestern, 81 points, and between them, 941 total yards. And look at the number of plays that Gary just checked.
71 plays. I don't care how fresh you keep the guys. That's a lot of plays.
First and goal whistled before the snap. And I've had Michigan grad Brian Mobilson checking the record book. When's the last time, I said, that Michigan and Northwestern ever scored 80 points? Folks, 1977, they put 83 on the board. That's the record for this series, but there was a little difference. Michigan scored 63 of them that day, okay?
63-20.
That's unbelievable. So they're headed for a record here if they can pop this one in this rivalry.
You know, sometimes you say it's just blocking. You've got to give the system some credit on here. I mean, this is a team that could barely move the ball last year.
They were an offensive blaz. Pump fake. Kustak didn't get the man open, but now he runs it. Inside the 5. Wants the end zone. Dives. Touchdown. NU. Touchdown.
What a play. What a play.
All you can do if you're Lloyd Carr, Michigan over there, right? Just kind of shake your head. I mean, it's
perfect defense. They wanted to go hitch and go to the outside, down to the bottom. They wanted to go hitch and go to the outside. Perfect coverage by Michigan. Zach has no one to throw to, and then look at this. A quarterback, a point guard, a hustler, and gets it into the end zone.
The receiver slipped coming off the line on the pump. And that point guard from Carl Sandburg High School, he made the most of it, didn't he, folks? And here's Long adding the extra point. And that is a record for this series. That's 88 points. And, folks, we're not finished. This is the Big Ten. Where are Bo and Woody? Young Matt Danielson, who obviously inherited the good looks of his mother. Now he's warming up, folks, because Zach Kustak took a bit of a blow going into the end zone that time. So Matt's just getting limber in case we need him.
See, I taught him to know when you're on TV. Just like that.
Along with the ball on the tip. And fielded on the hot by Cross. Cuts back to an alley. And he'll be down at the 30-yard line, so the Wildcats decide not to use the onside kick. And at the conclusion of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Well, our director, Larry Cam, has certainly enjoyed coming here to Ryan Field. The first time he's directed a game since he was, well, way back in the days when. He's a Northwestern graduate, and he really enjoyed coming back to the campus here this week.
What a scene, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Full stadium. I mean, if you watch this game, you want to buy tickets again, don't you?
Larry and I don't identify. We're just Northwestern.
Exactly. What the heck's going on here?
First down and 10. The ball! Northwestern football at the 19. Dwayne Missouri caused the fumble. Javier Collins recovered the first turnover of this game.
Remember the naked boot early in the game when Missouri was right there. Here it is again. The naked boot. Henson is going to keep it, and there's the big guy doing what he's supposed to do. He punches it out with his left arm. There's going to be a pass play all the way. I don't even get it. As strong as this game has been, it's still a game.
Tustock is fine. Dashes back out. This is where that intense conditioning program of Coach Walker pays off with 14:35 to go. This is a team that doesn't know quit this year. Anderson and Foot brings him down at the 19-yard line. Foot is one of the sharpest tacklers in the Big Ten. Jordan hustles into the offense. Second down and 10. Anderson's in trouble because it was read perfectly by Dan Rumashek, young man from Addison, Illinois.
It's part draw, part counter with the pulling tackle. This time the tackle pulled, and the defensive end, watch the tackle pull, and Rumashek comes right in, crashing on the play. A little bit of a pull. It's not going to work when you got a crashing end. Good call by Jimmy Herman that time.
Third down. Plenty of time, fires up underneath to Simmons, and he's nailed immediately at the 25-yard line.
That was the best defensive stand of the day for Michigan.
Brackens and Patman made big stops, and now they will try Tim Long for the lead.
They handled the counter. They got him in the backfield, and then they played off and forced Tustock to throw the ball underneath. Michigan defense was solid after the turnover.
So he has made one 43-yarder here today. This for the lead in the fourth quarter. Northwestern's down 2, and it would be a 41-yarder. Long enough. Got it. Northwestern leads. 12:30 to go. 46-45. In one of the wildest games ever between Michigan and Northwestern. Ain't the Wildcats your grandpa, folks. Happy Michigan's turn in the fourth quarter as Northwestern leads it here, and it's time for stay tuned for the Thrifty Carmelo postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country with John and Terry. I'm sure John and Terry will have all the highlights of this game, right, fellas?
Right. Right before the 11 o'clock news.
Right. Sellout crowd, and they're getting their money's worth here today in Evanston, Illinois. We still have 12:30 of regulation. Ryan Beard is back deep with Walter Cross for the Wolverines. There's Walter. And the young man who put the Wildcats ahead, he's 4 of 4 in kicking field goals, and he's looked pretty good. This kickoff is high and short. Fielded it and downed at the 29-yard line.
We talked about the strategy that Michigan needs to do. I think they need to go back and pound the ball inside. Then the finesse will come outside. You know, Northwestern, they've pounded Henson. They have yet to control Anthony Thomas. I think Michigan needs to go back to run the ball, and then the passing game will be there.
One fellow that Michigan can't handle right now is number 95, Dwayne Missouri, their left defensive end. He has been a big-timer here today. Rushes Henson, who gets it off to the tight end, Joffrey. And he's out, stopped at the 35-yard line.
Gutsy call by Stan Pierce, came back with the same play. The naked coming out. This time he jammed him a bit with a tight end. And Henson comes out and throws the ball.
Well, it's certainly interesting as you look around the country today beyond this game with a 2nd and 4 at Miami with a big win, trying to climb back up in the BCS poll, which of course will send the top 2 to the Orange Bowl at the end of the year. Henson back, snaps it off, and this one complete to Terrell. First down for Michigan. And speaking of the BCS, Gary, let's take a look. This, of course, the standings coming into the day. Virginia Tech obviously will fall. Nebraska, Miami, and Florida. When Oregon is losing, Washington is winning, which means that they've come back, right?
Wow.
The last time
they
we
did
saw.
Had a great fourth quarter win last week.
Yeah, amazing. TCU, they go tonight, and Purdue, of course, is idle. We spoke with Joe Tillo a little bit earlier in the day. First down and 10. So there'll be a shake-up. Thomas, let's check in with Jackaroo. Jack?
Brent, when Randy Walker first arrived here, he went to the strength and conditioning coaches and he told them, look, I want to totally change the way we get our team ready. He emphasized powerlifting and abs development. All the players are subjected to this day in and day out. And Randy says it's one of the reasons why they are so strong in the fourth quarter.
Here they are, Jack, with a one-point advantage, facing Michigan on a 2nd and 9 now. Huge play for the Wolverines.
Giving them the quick out to the top of the screen.
And in Missouri. And Henson somehow maintains his balance, but it's incomplete. Terrell for a moment was open, but how about the performance of number 95 here in the second half? Gary, there's somebody who's been working out on Wednesday.
You bet. I watched practice Wednesday, Brent, and they go full tempo for 2 hours. No huddles, no nothing. This time Missouri beats Maurice Williams inside again, and Big Henson shakes him off and actually overthrows it. Amazing strength in Henson's arm. But Missouri, he looks faster now as he comes out than he did all game.
3rd down and 9 for the Wolverines. Bellamy is off to the right. They've hit him in the slot here today. Henson looks goes back outside to Terrell. First down, Michigan. Huge 3rd down hit for Henson.
Harold Blackman's strategy is to play off, look at the quarterback, and try to squat on the throw. What's different is Henson's arm is getting the ball there quicker than Harold Blackman thinks. He thinks he can close on the receiver. Look at playing off 10 yards. He's looking in the backfield, and now he's trying to run underneath the throw. The ball's getting there too fast. That's a big league arm getting there.
First down at the NU 45-yard line.
Terrell's in the slot this time. I haven't seen that much.
Thomas to run, jammed at the middle, battles his way for about a yard.
You saw that rushing average in the first half over 7, and in the second half at 2. You can see the difference, that freshness, that in-shape Northwestern defense is starting to handle the running game. Never huddle.
Well, it's interesting what Randy said. You know, he'll run them for 840s, and they think they're done, and then he'll stand up and say, you've got one more. And he said, you know, confidence becomes a product of achievement, and you can measure lifting weights and running 40 yards. And this is a finely tuned Wildcat team. 2nd down. Henson gets his good time this time, and he hits Marquise Walker inside the... What a throw.
What a throw. It's just a marvel to watch this guy. Great protection that time by the Michigan offensive line. Nobody in Henson's face. You put nobody there, you think it's going to go to Terrell, but Henson keeps throwing the ball to different receivers. Look at this. Nobody in his face, he's going to eat you up. Ball out there from one hash, right on the sideline, right on the face. Perfect throw.
He's hit 19 of 29, 263 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions. And he's driving Michigan. The Wildcats lead by a point. 10:08, fourth quarter. Now some pressure, and Thomas looks for daylight. Wrestled down at the 20-yard line. Marvin Brown brings him down. So college football on ABC is brought to you by Chevrolet. If only everything was as dependable as a Chevy. Chevy will be there. Bud Light, the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. MSN, everything you need to feel at home on the web, all in one place. And Pep Boys, cars like us. People love us.
Great drive by Michigan. Henson, they're going with them. Just enough draw plays. Offensive line said it has to give Drew Henson time to throw the ball. The matchup's too good outside.
If he finishes off, we'll have more than 1,000 yards of offense in this game. Here's Thomas. He battles to the 8-yard line. Brown again makes the stop. You can see our total yards right half. 995 with 9:21 to go. And I thought that Bernie Kosar and Doug Flutie could put yards up right there.
Remember that one? And for Michigan right now with a 1-point deficit, you're thinking about you might have to go for 2 if you score. You should be dialing up the play right now.
Here's first down. Henson. Terrell slips a tackle, and he's down at the 1-foot line. That's a 12-yard gain.
David Terrell did such a great job here. He saw the ball was a little late, and he adjusted to it. He came back. Here's David. He goes out 5 yards, but Drew throws it a little late, and David feels the guy. Now watch him come back and get it. He says, uh-oh, and he comes in and steps forward to catch that ball, stretches it towards, well, he looked like he landed right on the line to me. I don't know if his knee was down, but very close.
Thomas, the obvious choice here. Here he comes. For the corner. Dives. Got it. Touchdown. Touchdown. Michigan regains the lead.
Decision time for Lloyd Carr. I think he's got to go for 2. And for me to say that, I'm not a big 2-point guy, but I think in this situation, you got to go. Out to the outside, Askew's going to lead it. And the people who question this guy's speed, I think he's deceptively fast. Puts the ball in his right hand very smartly.
They will go for 2. Well, Lloyd and Gary are on the same wavelength for the first time in years.
And Brent will wait till he misses it or makes it to make his decision.
Yeah, exactly. I'm second guessing.
Exactly. They don't make it.
You know that. I get after the fact. Oh. This is the first 2-point conversion attempt all year for the Wolverines. Incomplete. What a terrible call. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Blackman finally gets one. Harold Blackman closes on the ball, try to come inside. I don't think David sold it enough. He needed to come down farther. Really didn't fool Harold Blackman that time. That's why Drew was late with the pass.
Well, it's Northwestern's turn, folks. Timeout. 97 points, 1,008 yards of offense, 144 plays, and we've still got 8:34 to go. Michigan leads it 51-46.
I've seen Big Ten basketball games that don't score any many this way. Up in Wisconsin, they don't do it. They play defense.
All on the tee for Hayden Epstein. Is going to come out to the 22-yard line. Well, now we'll check in on that mental toughness, of Randy Walker. He says he wants his team in shape, and we're about to find out what they're going to be able to do here at 8:22. They've fallen back again. Kustok over here talking.
Well, yeah, that's Zach talking. But you know, you got to admire Michigan's mental toughness too. They're playing Northwestern. They're not used to have to battle a team like Northwestern. They're supposed to be on the bottom of the conference. Michigan has answered. They've maintained their focus. They need another step.
Jimmy Herman sticking with 4 rushmen, 2 inside linebackers. Plays the receiver straight up. Offensive line does a good job. Kustok couldn't find an open man. Now with Foot closing in, incomplete. A penalty flag comes flying on Foot, who hit Kustok. The penalty flag is thrown by the referee.
Boy, there's been so many close penalties. They seem to have gone against Michigan. Did he hit him in the head? Kustok comes out, Foot closes, hit him right in the head, helmet to helmet. That's why they called it. Ugh. It's all right. Lloyd agrees with that one, though. You got to play physical. You got to play aggressive. Sometimes it's going to happen. Lloyd right now will begin whooping the ref, saying, "You always win. You always win. You always win. Remember."
And the ball is brought out to the Northwestern 38-yard line. Here comes Anderson. On that little counter play, he's so quick into the hole. Stevens closing it down as Foot comes up with the football, but apparently he was already down. And you can see our total yards, first downs, points. Amazing.
And look at that, 141 points in 1999 for the whole season.
Just amazing. Second down and 7. Now Kustok in trouble, shakes it. Down he goes. Let's check in with John Saunders on the Washington Husky comeback.
Well, Brent, they came back with a couple of touchdowns from Hurst to take the lead, but here comes Arizona again. Leo Mills runs right through the secondary, unmolested, 51 yards for the touchdown. Arizona's back on top.
A third down play. Wildcats need 17 after the sack.
Michigan needs to not make a penalty. Let it play in front of them, come up and make the tackle.
Penalty flag is thrown. The umpire probably holding against Northwestern.
You have to believe that Michigan will decline this penalty.
Penalty flag on the play after a gain of 10. Correction, after a gain of 7.
Illegal block. And here at Ryan Field, the sellout crowd on hand. We're just after 6 o'clock here, Chicago time, with 6:50 to go. Michigan leading it 51-46, and the Michigan defense doing an excellent job on this series. The sack was a huge play for the Wolverines. Dave Petrozello coming in, a 10-yard loss, and that really set the tone on this series. And the Wildcats are forced to punt with J.J. Standring trotting onto the field. And now Bellamy would like to light a fire, and the Wolverines would like to open up a little daylight in this baby. Not going to touch it. And it rolls dead at the 26-yard line. So it is Drew Henson's turn. He's thrown for 275 yards and 4 touchdowns. Timeout. A look at the quarterback duel, and the difference would be Henson's 4 touchdowns to Kustok's 1. Remember now, Zach had rushed for 80 yards, but the defensive pressure has taken it away as sacks count against rush yards for quarterback.
Well, Zach has also run for 2 touchdowns also in this game.
First and 10. Thomas, Bayline. Down to the 35-yard line. A reminder, next Saturday here in the Midwest, some of you will see Penn State at Michigan or Purdue at Michigan State. But you're going to have the cable TV or the direct TV, because Oklahoma against Texas A&M at 1 Eastern is the big one. OU goes in to play the Texas A&M Aggies. That should be some scene down there at College Station next week. Now it is 2nd and 2 for the Wolverines, and I'm sure that Lloyd Carr wants to just take seconds off that clock right now run it down, try to take time away from Northwestern, get some first downs if they can. And Thomas battle back for the first down. Nice run. Jaggeroo.
Well, Brent, a lot of people wondered if Anthony Thomas would come back this season. Everybody rejoiced if they were a Wolverine when he said he would, including his wife Holly that he met at an art fair. He says that's one of the reasons why he came back. He said, you know, you could go in the NFL and you could blow out a knee or something like that and you'd be out of the game. If I go and fulfill my family obligation of getting a degree, I'll have something to fall back on.
The audio man with his timely whistle. One of our highlights. First down and 10. Thomas is stuffed in the middle of the defense, but the Michigan strategy right now is to get as many seconds as possible off the clock. What they would love to do is have about a 5-minute drive and just end the game and not give it back to NU.
Well, all Michigan fans right now are shouting to Stan Parrish and Lloyd Carr, remember the Purdue game. Don't give them back the ball right now. Let's end this game with our offense on the field.
You can see how he's taking seconds off that play clock. Marquise Walker, first down, clock stops as he steps out at the marker for the Wolverines. And I believe there's a penalty flag thrown on the far side of the field.
I think that Northwestern landed up in the neutral zone on that play. And at this point of game, I think Michigan, everybody knows they had a chance to put the game away against Purdue. They punted back to Drew Brees. They ended up losing the game. Right now, they do not want to give Zach Kustok, Northwestern, that offense back on the field without scoring points.
Play fake. Henson on first down, looking for a receiver. Going downfield, incomplete. You know, they grow a little impatient with this offense sometimes. They did at the end of the first half. And I would have thought that they would have been content to try and keep that clock running right now.
I think the content they need is first downs. They did go hitch and go. That time they saw Blackman knock that ball down before, and they tried to run a hitch and go and get points.
Well, you can see where they have to go for the first down here, and our first and 10 stripe is brought to you by Pacific Life.
But I will agree, if you're going to throw the ball, high percentage passes, move the chain type passes.
Coming around, Northwestern was ready for it. Number 47, Conrad Emmerich. Huge for the Wildcats.
You got to believe Jerry Brown and the Northwestern staff watched the Purdue game. On 2nd and long against Purdue, they ran the same reverse for the same result. Trying to bring Bellamy around the outside. Emmerich comes to the outside, says, my scouting report says stay for the reverse. And on 2nd and long, Michigan gets a minus.
Who knows? This could be the biggest play of the game, and one that has featured huge plays all day. This is 3rd and 14, and if Michigan doesn't make it, we're going to have to punt it. 3rd and 14. Steps up, fires hard, incomplete. Northwestern will get the ball back.
One of the few passes all day with no pressure on Drew Henson. He missed it. Led David Terrell too much on that play. Terrell had him beat, and everyone's upset on that one. First down call, they went for the touchdown. 2nd down and 10, they went for the reverse.
Epstein. Simmons at the 9-10-yard line, a 46-yard punt and a fair catch. Northwestern 90 yards away for Zach Kustok. And remember, the Wolverine defense Did a fine job in that last Northwestern series. They're going to have to do it again.
Well, it's 4-down territory, that's for sure. I don't think Northwestern will punt the ball back again.
Michigan 51, Northwestern 46. Kustok straight back, middle, got it. First down at the 29-yard line as Patrick catches one for a 20-yard gain.
Right over the middle of the field, the area that Michigan State would not throw the ball is still a weak point in this deep zone that Michigan's playing.
Anderson sprints to the outside. Stepped out at the 35. Second and 5.
Michigan is in a 3-man line.
Kustok with the option, looks to keep it. Got the first down, breaks free. And the one-time point guard from Carl Sandburg High School here, out of bounds at the 44, a 21-yard sprint.
Last 7 possessions, scored 6 times. What is that, 6 out of 7? Look at that. Field goal for 1. Right into the teeth of the blitz that time. The option is called, and Kustok sees it, reads it, sees him going for the pitch man, keeps it up. Holy cow.
They need a touchdown. They're down by 5. 4 wideouts. Kustok has the changeup. Not one offensive lineman has moved illegally today for Northwestern. Anderson, and he is caught from behind by Chantior. Number 53 makes a fine play for the Wolverines.
What a tremendous weapon it is to have a quarterback that can run the option out of this spread offense. It really simplifies the defense as you can go. Michigan's forced into a 3-man line. They're going to blitz from the outside with linemen. Here they come for me.
The middle. Incomplete. Threw the ball a little too low for the running back. Anderson, the intended receiver, and the ball was down just a little bit too low, and now NU faces a huge third down for Coach Walker. Play will be signaled in for the running backs, the quarterback, the wideouts. They look to the sideline. Now Zach is ready. He'll tell the line on the changeup.
Northwestern will not huddle. Double slant to the outside. This guy comes in, attracts him. The next guy right behind him gets the ball. Perfect read by the quarterback. They bite on the first one. There's the second one. And to the outside. First and goal, no huddle. Still doing the hurry up. Still doing the tempo.
Checking with the coaches. Play is called. Here's that delay with Anderson. And he is stopped at the 6-yard line by Foot.
Randy Walker now has to be thinking ahead. If they score, they will also go for 2.
Walker would love to take some seconds off and punch this in. I'll tell you that right now. That's an eternity to get Drew Henson the ball with 2 minutes.
Michigan is blitzing. And it's red. It's been changed. The play has changed. They're blitzing.
Second down, pressure, slant, incomplete. And Fine play by Todd Howard, number 3 off the corner.
He guessed the inside slant, came inside, did his technique perfectly, and beat the ball to the spot that time. That's good defense right there.
2 downs to get the touchdown. Here's 3rd down and goal.
Northwestern does have the slant and go to the post, to the corner of the field.
The change. Anderson moves over to the quarterback's left side. They'll sit with this play. Option look, Anderson, and ready is Mr. Foote. A beautiful play by Larry Foote, who read option all the way, and his man was Anderson, and he's telling everybody, hey, the running back also grab my face mask.
Well, 4th down has been good for Northwestern. And here it is. We saw it 3 touchdowns last week against Minnesota. I don't think they could get him on a slant to the corner. Come in and then out to the outside. Either guy.
Pressure underneath. Got it. Dives in zone. Touchdown. Touchdown. Northwestern. 7 yards.
I think I saw a late flag in this one. And I think there might have been a guy downfield for Northwestern, a lineman downfield.
Teddy Johnson, the receiver, caught the pass.
But he caught it over the line of scrimmage. Teddy needed to be behind the line of scrimmage because it was the slip screen to the wide receiver, and he caught it a yard past. You have to be very disciplined on that play because linemen are going downfield. That's the decision that they're talking out right now. Did he catch it beyond the line of scrimmage or not?
Ineligible receiver downfield on the offensive. 5-yard penalty.
The question is, does Teddy look, he's about on the 7-yard line, 8-yard line where he's lined up. He has to catch the ball at the line of scrimmage or beyond. Comes down.
Yeah,
very, very close.
Gary, it was the outside man crossing in on the inside underneath, and it was very close to the line of scrimmage. We'll go back and take another look at it.
But it's where the guy who catches the ball is. The other receivers can be out there. The man who catches the ball has to be behind the line of scrimmage.
So timeout is going to be called here by Walker because it's 4th down all over again. Watch the 2 receivers out to the left, and remember where the line of scrimmage is. Johnson is the outside man, and he comes back down. And folks, it is very, very close to that line of scrimmage. And then he dove on in for the end zone.
Remember
if it's
that
on the
side
line or behind, remember now, it is legal. Here he comes down the line.
Teammate Patrick right there cleans off number 3 Howard. Now the question is, was it beyond the line of scrimmage? We frankly cannot tell. All I do know is official has his legs straddling the line of scrimmage. He has the best viewpoint.
Because you're allowed to go downfield if you're an offensive lineman, unlike the NFL. You can go downfield on the screen if he is behind the line of scrimmage.
There's the official that called it. He's straddling the line of scrimmage right as the ball is caught. And he's the one that has to make the call. But we don't get any easy ones, do we, Brent? They're always so close.
Well, you know, in fairness to Michigan, almost every close call today has gone against the Wolverines. I guess their time was due, and in fairness to them, too, he could have been just beyond the line of scrimmage. Even from our angle, I thought maybe the left foot was indeed beyond the line of scrimmage, and the official should not blow that call. So here we go again.
And by the way, they got another try, right? Back them up 5 yards.
Now the change. Zach has got it. Take Anderson in trouble, gets thrown back, he's open! No, he dropped the ball at the goal line!
goodness.
Damian Anderson was wide open, and he couldn't hang on.
Look at the Michigan players. What great sportsmanship. This thing ain't over yet, but they even recognize what a great job Damian Anderson did in this game. A perfect call from the Northwestern team. And what a play by Zach Kustak to get rid of that thing with a guy right in his face.
So now Drew Hinton, the A-train, will try to kill the clock.
Slips right through, makes the fake, watch the pressure. Brackens comes right on and Zach. Zach jumps, throws, no one covering him, and boots it. One more look at Zach getting rid of that ball. What a play.
So now it's up to the Wolverines, and Thomas, he'll try to stay in bounds, which he does. Barging out to the 19-yard line. This has been a wonderful college football game.
I really admire the Michigan players coming over and saluting a guy they played against in this game. He boots it, can't be any better. Can't be a better throw. No one feels worse than that guy right there who played so well. 262 yards running the ball, and Michigan guys came up and gave him a salute.
And there's where Anderson's showing you on the sideline where the pass was. It was going to be a tricky catch-up over the shoulder. You could read his language down there. Final minute of this game. And here comes the fumble! Northwestern's got it! 47 seconds! I don't believe it!
Reminiscent of Wisconsin Northwestern, the fumble. It was called trust.
Raheem Covington recovers the ball. And a second chance for Damian Anderson.
How ironic. The two stars of the game, the running backs. First it's Damian Anderson dropping a pass, and now Anthony Thomas running to seal the game. The game is over, and he drops the ball to make it 4 more plays for Northwestern.
So the duel continues. Sack. And Damian rolling over at the 25-yard line, making sure that he hangs on to the football. With Anthony watching in dismay from the Michigan sideline. Now Zach up, firing slant, first down, clock stop. At the 11-yard line, 23 seconds to go for NU.
First and 10, Northwestern at the Michigan.
Northwestern takes a timeout. Anthony Thomas is praying that his defense can hold on one more time. Zach Kustak been here before. And Anthony Thomas, who played brilliantly all day, and both of the receivers cough it up at the end of the game. Northwestern now with 1 timeout. That was a good timeout by Randy Walker to settle his team down.
Well, today's Chevrolet players of the game, folks, we could have selected so many, but let's go with David Terrell here today, who caught 3 touchdown passes, 9 catches, 124 yards, and Zach Kustak, who's still out there firing, 309 yards passing on the day, trying to stage one more miracle finish here for the Wildcats. And in recognition of the young man's efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
With a timeout, Northwestern can run any play in the playbook. They can run the option, they can run the quarterback draw.
Northwestern needs a touchdown slant. They've got it. They've got it. Northwestern leads. Sam Simmons, last week's hero, has done it again. And it was an unfortunate fumble by Anthony Thomas that gave Northwestern one last chance.
What a game by Zach Kustak. Sam Simmons, you called it. He caught the tip pass, the Hail Mary a week ago in victory right, and now Kustak puts it right on the numbers. I'm kind of surprised that Northwestern is not going for two, or they got to go for two. They are going to go for two because a field goal would beat them either way. Zach's on the phone right now.
The winning touchdown, and Zach Kustak, our Northwestern player of the game, hits Simmons on the little slant. He breaks wide open into the end zone, and number 32 today has caught 12 passes for 123 yards and 1 touchdown. It was an ending that we will never forget here in Evanston, as Damian Anderson dropped what would have been the go-ahead touchdown. But then Northwestern got a second chance because Anthony Thomas put it on the ground, and it was recovered by Northwestern. Then the touchdown pass. But Raheem Covington saved the day when he pounced on that loose fumble. And it is a team that indeed doesn't ever quit. Like Coach Walker said, you have to kill us to beat us. And he knew exactly what he was talking about. This is a miracle turnaround. I am more impressed with this turnaround of this team than when Barnett built the Rose Bowl team. This is unbelievable to shoot it out with a high-powered Michigan like Randy Walker has done here today. This is a remarkable coaching job.
5 wide receivers on the field.
They go for 2. The Wolverines will have 20 seconds left.
Michigan is discombobulated. They got Larry Foote here playing a slot guy. Look at them all looking around.
Now, don't forget, you can score off a missed extra point. If you go the distance, you get 2 points. Northwestern cannot afford a costly mistake here. To the corner. All right there, got it.
It was the slant and go.
Teddy Johnson.
Teddy Johnson, who got that slant knocked down before. This time on a 2-point play after a discussion with Kevin Wilson.
Last week in Minnesota, they were down 21. They tied the score. And then on the very last play of the game, it was called victory right. The volleyball tap. Patrick in the air. Simmons for the win. And a miracle. And then here today, a second chance off an Anthony Thomas fumble and a slant. The same young man. Simmons to the end zone. And Northwestern may have done it again. Still 20 seconds for the Wolverines. One thing is certain. Northwestern goes into the Michigan record book. 654 yards, the most ever allowed by Michigan.
Slant and go to the outside. He takes 1 step in and just goes to the corner of the end zone. Another perfectly thrown ball, and he gets both feet down. You only need 1.
Now let's see if Northwestern kicks it deep or if they come short after the Simmons touchdown. Ryan Beard and Walter Cross are back. 20 seconds on the clock. Here's Cross at the 16-yard line. And he's down at the 36 with 15 seconds for Henson and David Terrell.
Epstein, what did he make? 50-yarder? What was the one he kicked so far in this game? 52-yarders in the game. So that means you got to get the ball roughly to the 35-yarder. Michigan has all 3 timeouts. Epstein is the guy.
Northwestern drops 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. Henson on the run, throws it underneath. The clock stops as he comes to work on the sideline for 18 yards. And Marquise Walker. And Epstein gets ready. He could send this into overtime with a field goal.
That would only be fair, wouldn't it? Need about 12 yards. Very smart timeout by Michigan right here.
We have had, ladies and gentlemen, 13 touchdowns. It started in the sunshine with Kuzak and Anthony Thomas. And then it was the David Terrell show. He scored 3 before Anderson came back. And then Seymour caught one for Michigan. Northwestern added one before it was the A-Train. And still we went back and forth. And then number 13 putting Northwestern ahead, but not out of danger. They lead at 54-51, and Jack Kuzak better talk to the coaches upstairs because we could be headed for OT.
Michigan needs about 12 yards minimum to get into range. There's enough time to run it. And with the timeout, you could throw it, turn around, and call timeout instantly. Anywhere on the field.
So the ball is at the Northwestern 47-yard line. Henson with that timeout in his pocket, needing yards. The offensive line does its job. Sideline to stop the clock, and Terrell steps out at the 39. Now 4 seconds. Is that close enough?
Oh, that would be a 56-yarder. It's a little bit downwind. I think you got to kick it here.
Oh, with 4 seconds, they've called timeout first to make sure, but I agree. They've got to go now.
Right. In 4 seconds, you might not get another chance.
Well, they have to go now. There's a little bit of a breeze. You can see it'll be at Epstein's back. Between Michigan and Northwestern.
What's being discussed right now is, do we have enough time to run one more play, a 1 or 2 yard pass with an immediate timeout?
Why would they take any kind of a chance?
The only thing I could think, it's got to be the discussion. They're discussing something, but I kick the field goal. They cannot take a chance in my mind.
Here he comes. That's how far he has to kick it. As you look at that goalpost there on the left.
It's 1 yard, 57 yards.
So for the tie. No! Back to Epstein in trouble. Throw it out. Northwestern wins it. Northwestern wins it 54-51.
The snap was not handled. It looked like a good snap, and John Navarre could not handle it.
Let's go to Jackaroo quickly.
Well, Coach, congratulations. Can you describe how you feel right now?
Oh, it's just, you're in shock almost. You keep trading blows with a great heavyweight fighter like that, and we just hope we can keep standing for 15 rounds, and our kids kept standing.
Well, Brentford today, they're the heavyweight champions of the world.
Football is how you respond, and Northwestern responded. 54-51 over Michigan is our final. ABC Sports Online at ESPN.com. Keyword, ABC College Football. For Gary and Jack, I'm Brent. So long, everybody. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, continuing the tradition of excellence.